ना समीर भाई.
All right. Hi, guys. After 3 long months, we are coming back with a podcast, and it took us so much of time because we wanted this podcast to be with a lot of people and with a bang. So, 3 months was the time that we had to actually conceptualize, and we had to really, really think about the entire aspect as into what we are going to talk about. And the topic for today that we are going to talk about is basically a mindset of a men's right activist. All right. Very, very important because people normally call the men's right activists as patriarchal. They call us, women haters. They call us people who have initiated marriage strike, people who have initiated, protests against 1 crore alimony. But what is the mindset of these activists? And that is what we are going to share with you, and how activism basically has helped so many people in different ways. So that is going to be the topic of discussion today. And joining with us is an array of people who are heavily into the men's right activist movement, starting with the founder of Save Indian Family Foundation, Mr. Anil Murthy, who's been
Hi.
running this organization for the past, say, maybe 20 odd years. He's an IITian himself. He is the conceptualizer behind the marriage strike and very active on Twitter. He's the conceptualizer behind the whole, ban 1 crore alimony and many other tweets and many other hashtags which have gone viral all over the internet. So, welcome, sir. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, and along with that, we have Virag from Hyderabad. He's very, very active on social media, highlighting men's rights issues, basically, where how men are not yet being considered as an integral part of the society and still considered as a second-class citizens and a disposable asset. So he's been very active on that. So I welcome Virag as well.
Thank you.
After that, we have Suprakash Kunthia sir, heavy into child custody
Hello.
cases. Child custody cases, very, very active. He has come up with really, really innovative activism campaigns and slogans, even including the Kumkaran Puja, which has been a huge hit amongst the men's right activists, and also the Elon Musk Puja. So we consider him
Elon
as.
Musk Puja also.
Yes, and we consider him as our as the Shahi Pujari of all the
Chief
deities who
priest.
are against the feminists. So, welcome, sir. Welcome to this podcast. After that,
Thank you.
we
Thank
have
you.
Shashank Sinhaji with us. Again, a person who has been very actively fighting for custody cases. He's had a lot of success, and he's been helping a lot of people out. Uh, Activism from a judicial perspective, as well as how do you create an environment where you can get the custody of your children, and the attachment of a father towards the children can actually be seen, with him and the work that he's been doing. So, Shashank sir, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
So,
Hi.
next is Shriman Nursing. Now, Shriman Nursing, Bangalore-based Delhi boy, and you can immediately come to know the kind of vigor and the kind of the aggression that he has fighting his cases, because when you are actually pushed towards the corner, it is only the tough people who actually push back. And nursing is one of them who has been really, really active in Bangalore and now in Delhi, and he is really, really fighting hard for his child as well. And lot of brutality, lot of mental trauma, but he has really, really fought it well. So, welcome, Nursing.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you.
And last but not the least is Sam or Samir. Now, how much ever we speak about him is less. Just don't go on his calm and cool demeanor. He is a lion when it comes to activism. He is a lion when it comes to litigations. It's difficult to stand up to him even in person, forget about in the court. So he'll be here, he'll be guiding us, and he'll be telling his 2 points on how activism has basically changed him as a person, how he's fighting for his cases when it comes to false allegations, also his child custody, a lot of things going on. So, we are really, really glad to have you, Samir. Samir, you're not audible. You're on mute.
Yeah, hi all. Thank you. Thank you, Akshay.
All right. So I would like to basically start with just couple of minutes of each and every one of you. That what exactly happened in your life that pushed you towards this men's right movement, or were you always a men's right activist right from the time you got sense and you were like, this is something which has been untouched, or was there some trigger point or something happened and because of which you got into this? So I would like to start with Virag, could you just
Yeah,
share your experience?
sure. So the things like in a society, we are not aware about the things the man is facing. We thought like it's a anatomy in the culture which is made. So we every man is suffering like that. So from a childhood, we don't understand the criticality of it. But once we face it, so things happened with me. Was like I was being attacked multiple times, and then when
I was being attacked there as well, and the things which I was dealing.
not having any kind of a support at that time. But the things which happen very critically in my life, if I will share, it's a long list, and it happens in most of the people. And then they will understand the reality, what is happening in the society when you join the Save Indian Family Foundation. When you come to such platforms, so that is from my side, and I will share later on the things.
All right, thanks, Virag. Thank you so much. शशांक जी, आप जरा बताइए कि क्या हुआ ऐसा जिसकी वजह से आप मेंस राइट एक्टिविस्ट बन गए, या हर समय से ये दिमाग में था कि भाई सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ करना है और मेंस के लिए कुछ करना है, मेंस राइट्स के लिए कुछ करना है, पहले से था? मतलब कैन यू जस्ट थोड़ा सा बताएंगे?
या बिल्कुल। देखिए, 2019 फरवरी मार्च में मैं SIFF ज्वाइन किया। दैट टाइम मुझे पता नहीं था कि मेंस राइट्स होता क्या है। एग्जैक्टली मुझे आइडिया नहीं था। 2019 मार्च में मैं एक क्रिटिकल विक्टिम की तरह था, जो किसी भी टाइम सुसाइड कर सकता था। मेरे लाइफ में बहुत सारी ऐसी बहुत सारी इंसिडेंट हुई थी जो मुझे सुसाइड की ओर ढकेल रहे थे। समहाउ मुझे खींच के लाया गया। जब मैं मेंस राइट्स में इंटर हुआ तो दिल्ली कॉन्क्लेव हुआ था फरवरी 2020 में। उसके पहले 3 महीने पहले मेरे साथ कुछ ऐसा घटना घटा था कि हम लोगों ने कोर्ट के बाहर एक्टिविज्म किया था, जिसमें हम लोगों ने कुछ बोर्ड तख्ती लेकर हम लोग वहाँ पे थे। वो एक्टिविज्म जो है वो पेपर में फ्लैश आउट हुआ, और मैं था और कुछ हमारे बिहार के और कुछ एक्टिविस्ट थे। तो पीपल उस समय तक मुझे मेंस राइट्स एक्टिविस्ट के रूप में नहीं जानते थे। वो मेरा फर्स्ट ऑन ग्राउंड एक्टिविज्म था, जो मैंने कोर्ट कंपाउंड के बाहर बैनर्स तख्ती लेके फेमिनिज्म का डायरेक्ट मतलब अटैक किया था। उसके बाद फरवरी 2020 में दिल्ली कॉन्क्लेव था हमारा मेंस राइट्स का था। उस समय मुझे फर्स्ट टाइम स्क्रीन पे आने का मौका मिला। हमारी एक शॉर्ट फिल्म आई थी, सोशल थप्पड़। तो वो स्क्रीन के टाइम में हम लोगों ने थोड़ा सा हमारे अंदर जो झिझक होती है एक्टिविस्ट के रूप में, वो मुझे वहाँ से बाहर निकाल दिया गया। थर्ड, जब फरवरी मार्च 2020 के बाद से रेगुलरली मैं ऑनलाइन कई बार ट्रोल भी हुआ हूँ मैं, और पता नहीं कितनी गालियाँ खाई हैं, मुझे याद नहीं है। और फरवरी 2020 में अनिल सर ने एक कैंपेन स्टार्ट किया था, वुमेन इज ए बर्डन। तो दैट टाइम जब हम लोग सोशल मीडिया में ऑनलाइन एक्टिविज्म करते थे तो इतना अब्यूजिव लोगों का बिहेवियर होता था। हमारे बारे में लोग पता नहीं महिला विरोधी, पता नहीं क्या, कुछ भी, मतलब वुमेन के अगेंस्ट में बोलने का मतलब ही बहुत बड़ा क्राइम होता है। तो बहुत कुछ फेस किया हमने, और पर्सनल केसेस थे, स्टार्टअप से काफ़ी
नहीं
ट्रबल
तो
रहा।
शशांक जी, अब मेरा फिर वही क्वेश्चन यही था कि ये सब आपने इतना सब जो अचीव किया, वो ऐसा कुछ हुआ आपकी लाइफ में जिसकी वजह से आप इस चीज में घुसे, या पहले से
हाँ,
आपके अंदर ये चीज थी?
नहीं, मेरे अंदर कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं था। मेरे ऊपर फॉल्स केसेस हुए। फॉल्स केसेस होने के बाद जो है वो सारी चीज़ें मेरे अंदर आई। आने के बाद क्या होता है कि जब फॉल्स केसेस का इम्पैक्ट मेरे लाइफ में पड़ा तो मुझे लगा ऐसा कि मेरे बच्चे भी प्रॉब्लमेटिक में जा सकते हैं, मेरे रिलेटिव भी प्रॉब्लम में जा सकते हैं। तो मुझे सोसाइटी में अवेयरनेस फैलाना है, तो मुझे एक्टिविस्ट की ओर टर्न किया। और ये पॉइंट मुझे मेरा लाइफ चेंज कर गया पूरा। मतलब फिर मैं ब्लंट हो गया बिल्कुल। मुझे कोई अनिल सर ने एक बहुत पहले मुझे डायलॉग सिखाया था, आईने के सामने खड़ा हो और बोलो मैं इस दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा कमीना इंसान हूँ। तो वो मूल मंत्र जो है, और सुप्रकाश सर ऑफ कोर्स, इन्होंने मुझे बिगाड़ने में कोई कसर न रखी। इन्होंने अच्छे अच्छे तरीके से मुझे बिगाड़ डाला। दैट्स ऑल।
Okay, great, great. Thank you so much, Shashank sir, for sharing this. Nursing, the same question goes to you. What happened, and why becoming a men's right activist is the path you see right now for yourself? I mean, was it there earlier, or is it something that has just cropped all of a sudden?
Yeah, thanks, Akshat. So this has been a journey, long journey now, around more than 4 years. I have been into men's rights and contributing towards activism, and me being vocal about the false cases which are going on in the society, biased laws, and a difficult situation for men to survive in, at least in India. You know, false accusation had made me come into this zone of life, which has been very tough personally, as well as in terms of the courts, the judiciary, the police machinery of India, and last but not the least, the struggle which I am going through right now about the uh, child access and child related problems. It has been tough, but activism, support of SIF, and the community in general, which we get in SIF, has made me survive till date. I was never into thinking of this perspective, being an engineer from my background, very studious, hardworking, and very much focused towards technical areas. I never thought about social world and the problems which exist in the society. But these instances or incidences which happened in my life had made me come and land up into a journey which I am now enjoying, helping people, SIF members of SIF, as well as the new people who are ending up with false accusations and the false cases and whatnot, being suicidal, facing charges which are absurd. All this has made me to become an activist and fighting out for the society, with the SIF community has become the goal of my life. SIF has given me a purpose now, and that's
Yeah,
the
it's very true, whatever Shriman you have shared with us. And the same thing, like Shashank sir has also mentioned that he went through a suicide. And so I would like to add on that part and then we will move ahead. The same situation went into my life when the things was happening in a 2021. As I told you earlier, like in a society, we are not aware about all these things. And then when I was suffering from all these traumas and all the things which was happening with me through the family or through the society and then through the system, and then I realized yeah, there is seriously a lack of the things. And when I joined the Save Indian Family Foundation, I got to know about the things, the support which I got the moment I was at a suicide point, and I got a retrieval from it by joining the people. I got a support to talk to them. तो वहां से चीजें समझ में आई, लोगों से मिलना हुआ, चीजों को कनेक्ट करना शुरू किया, रियलिटी को जानना शुरू किया. एंड देन वेयर आई स्टार्टेड दैट whatever I, being a man suffering in this society, dealing with all these things, what about the others? Okay, I got a community, but others still it's not reaching up. And with the help of our co-founder Anil sir, Rajesh Vakharia sir, and other senior activists, I got a platform to spread the awareness as much as we can.
All right.
So, Akshat bhai, yeah.
Thanks, Urag. So coming to Anil Murthy sir, who can probably summarize this. So it's very important for basically us to know that why is always a trigger point necessary for anyone to get into the men's right movement or become a men's right activist, and what is our mind state before this trigger point, and what happens after this trigger point that people get into this. I mean, if you can explain psychologically what actually triggers, what happens.
Yes, well, there can be a trigger, there may not be a trigger, or there may be a mild trigger. So it depends on person to person. See, some people have always have a rebellious nature. Okay, uh, and I would like to say that whatever a lot of guys in SIF are doing right now, they are being prepared for this day or from their childhood. They may not be knowing it, but it is not an accident that there was a trigger, something happened to you, and then you became an activist, or you are making social transformation. It is not an accident that just randomly it happened and you are doing. So there is a much bigger purpose which comes, and for everybody the journey and that path is different. Okay, in my case I can say that I certainly had a rebellious nature. I kind of conducted a mini strike in my school when I was 13 years old. So I was having a problem with authority. Like I am like going to question everything, right? So that's how I was. And as the things went on, then I saw that whatever I was questioning, it was very very big. Same way, if I look at, let's say, Shashank, you know if you look at his career, like, so he is not like, he is an engineer and all, but he didn't follow a normal career. He has experimented with his own life. So everybody has a like that. So everybody has a some kind of a journey which comes in the background, is there in the background, and there is a trigger. The trigger can be a red pill experience, or it can be a series of red pills where you just discover something which is shocking. So it's a reality which you cannot digest. For example, for me, the police being so corrupt, or the judiciary being so pathetic, or the media telling the lies, right? That can be a shock. And then you see if you can make a difference, or you can connect with the people. So that is the pattern that we see in everyone. The other thing that matters is, even when you get a trigger or a red pill and you see that this entire thing is a fraud, there is a fraud of feminism, because feminism is not equality. Feminism is not equality at all. So the moment you realize that, and then you see that everybody is lying, media and the judiciary and the government, everybody is lying in the name of equality or gender sensitivity, gender equality, then you are awake. Okay, you are awake, not in a woke way, but you are awake. But then you need a platform, you need an environment that nurtures you. So it has happened with each one of you, it has happened with me also. I got the right environment, right nurturing environment, with a couple of mentors in India, sorry, especially in Bangalore. They are older than me, so they helped me. So somebody gave me a book to read, somebody answered my questions, somebody took me on a hike or something. So there is a certain amount of nurturing that has happened in first couple of months, and that leads to leads to what you are. You start making contribution, and that is the pattern I think is there in everybody's life. Yeah. Mhm.
So, sir, just I would like to just add one really small question. You spoke about nurturing. So, can this nurturing be done to people in general, or they need to have that kind of a mindset to receive that kind of nurturing?
Right, it's a very good question. I see that this is actually mostly a function of the nurturer. Okay, so if the person who nurtures them, the leader, then the guy may not have a, he will be in any case getting it. So the mindset of the guy may not play a big role. If he's shocked, he has certain attitude, and then it a lot depends on the person who is mentoring, who's coaching to become a leader. Okay, a lot depends on that person. And of course, there is one more point is like, there are certain things of nurturing or making somebody grow that is generic, but a lot of it is very much individual. Okay. So the way you nurture one person, the other person can be different. Okay. So everybody needs a creative space, or everybody needs the freedom to grow. That is common. But then different people needs a different way of handling or nurturing. Okay, and often that is very very critical, that the leaders have to recognize in what way every new guy or a new activist is unique. See, somebody can be very practical, somebody can be very driven, somebody can be strategic. Okay, somebody can relate to people, somebody can be very good in communication. So that has to be recognized, and that is what has to be initially stroked, so that the person is suddenly able to discover that. Okay, so there are all these components play a role.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that insight.
Thanks.
It is quite fascinating to know that it is the attitude of the nurturer, and anyone can become an activist if he has the right kind of an attitude. So, based on this, having the right kind of attitude, I would like to actually ask Suprakash sir as well as Samir that how did activism basically change you? How, what were those moments that when you went into activism that you were nervous and then it changed you, and how did it impact your life? How did it impact your cases, or even if you don't talk about cases in general, what was the overall growth like? So if you can enlighten us on that, Suprakash sir. Suprakash sir, you're on mute. So
Yeah, sorry. So, am I audible?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, just just a minute back, Anil sir, you asked a very uh, pertinent question, that nurturing of the activists, and Anil sir rightly replied about it, saying that the right quality of the person has to be recognized, and thereafter, to which role the person is going to fit into, that has to be encouraged. So that is when I found my space. Like when I joined SIF, I joined as a common man. Like everybody comes and joins SIF every almost every weekend. We used to see some 10 to 15 guys are coming and joining SIF. Like that, I one day I went and I joined. I called up Anil sir. I didn't know I was speaking to Anil sir for the first time. With some contact, I got the contact of SIF. and I just dialed the number, and it was none other than Anil sir who picked up my phone, and he asked me to visit the center, and I went to the center. I met with him, and I had my discussion. I made him to hear some of the audio recordings that I had with me. All those things happened, and a normal interaction happened. With that, probably with his experience, he could recognize that he's the person who may be fitting into a certain kind of role in SIFF. So that's how the journey started. And your question, like, how did I get into the
No, question
activism
was, how did it change you?
and
How
what
did it change?
triggered me? Okay. So what got this change in me, right?
How did
So
activism basically
initially,
change
I
you?
was a normal human being. Right. Yeah. So I was a normal human being initially, like everybody is scared, you know, something new happens in life. He doesn't know how to handle this. Okay. So that's why uh, a person looks around and seeks for some help from somewhere. And the similar thing I did, and I uh, got in touch with SIFF. And thereafter, I learned so many things. And for the first time, I got to know about men's rights activism. And once I got to know that this is what is activism, this is how you have to present yourself before the society, this is how you have to bring the matters to the forefront, this is how you have to create an impact in the society, right? So all these things I started doing one after the other, and in due course of time, I kept on learning so many things. So now the phase of the transformation comes into picture, wherein I got an opportunity to improve my personality, my way of presentation, and how I can, deal with people from different spheres in the society. I I had to deal with the society. I had to deal with the legal system. I had to deal all these matters personally, and I had to deal my professional life. All these teachings happened. All these transformations happened through the course of activism. So that
Great,
is the most positive change I got by getting into it. And
great.
for that, I'm really grateful.
Thank you so much, Suprakash sir, for
Yeah.
that insight. Samir, would you like to add? What was your thing like? What changed after activism?
See, Akshat, uh, we have lot of things to think about when we talk about activism, how it started. So every person's life has a different setup. Okay, so I will begin with कि हम लोगों का जो एक्टिविज्म है अभी जो चल रहा है हम लोग जनरली फॉल्स केसेस एंड द वुमेन बायस्ड लॉज इनके ऊपर जनरली एक्टिविज्म करते हैं. इट इज नॉट अबाउट दैट जनरल सोशल एक्टिविज्म्स. This is a bit of different as well as difficult activism which is against half of the society. In fact, 90% of the society is against us with this type of activism. ओके, तो ये एक्टिविज्म काफ़ी हद तक डिफिकल्ट है हम लोगों के लिए. जो लोग इसके अंदर आ पाते हैं वो बहुत ही लकी हैं, और शायद बहुत से लोग मजबूरी में भी इस एक्टिविज्म को ज्वाइन करते हैं. ओके, लाइफ कैसे ज्वाइन हुआ? अगर एक एक कोट था हमारे एक वेटरन वेटरन सिर्फ मेंबर का, दैट एवरी मैन इज ए फेमिनिस्ट until he meets his wife in the court. Okay, so ये एक्टिविज्म की शुरुआत भी वहीं से होती है। कोई इंसान एक्टिविज्म नहीं करना चाहता जब तक उसके ऊपर खुद के ऊपर ये चीज़ नहीं आती। चाहे वो कुछ भी इश्यू हो, चाहे वो मैट्रिमोनियल इश्यू हो या फिर वो सड़क पे किसी गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी से हैरास हो रहा है, कुछ भी टाइप का एक्टिवि है। यहाँ पर बहुत सारे टाइप्स के एक्टिविज़म्स होते हैं, लैंड लैंड ग्रैबिंग हो रहा है, या ही इज़ इरिटेटेड फ्रॉम द रोड नेटवर्क, ही इज़ इरिटेटेड फ्रॉम द लाइक कूड़ा-कचरा इकोसिस्टम। वो एक्टिविज्म उस पे तभी जाएगा जब उस पे पर्सनली कुछ इफेक्ट हुआ होगा, उसकी फैमिली में किसी ना किसी को इफेक्ट हुआ होगा, वो एक्टिविज्म साइड पे तभी जाएगा। तो उसमें भी कुछ लोग ये सोचने में जाते हैं कि नहीं, हमें नहीं करना, लेट अदर पीपल डू इट। तो यहाँ पर कुछ कुछ लोगों को पाथवे मिलता है कि करना जरूरी है, तो इसी वजह से हम गए। एंड यस, वन इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग, इसके अंदर हम लोगों का एक सेल्फिश माइंडसेट भी होता है, और ये ज़रूरी भी है कि हम लोगों का एक कोट हमेशा एक बात लगा के चलते हैं, डू एक्टिविज्म एंड विन योर केसेस, because it will definitely help you when you are doing the activism. You will know the environment around you, and you will be able to fight against that environment also. So this is what we are nurturing into.
Oh, thank you, Samir. So, Anil sir, I would like to ask you in this to summarize this. Uh, Activism. Why is it that the mindset? I mean, we spoke to Samir, we spoke to Suprakash sir, and I want to know what happens after you become an activist, and what is your mindset prior to being an activist, and is it necessary for everyone in their own small sphere of life, whatever they are, to become an activist, to talk about things so that they have a better mindset? Or is it okay to be going with the flow of things ke aisa hi chalta hai attitude? Is that okay? Or having a mindset of an activist is okay? I mean, what's your take on it, sir?
Right. So even when somebody becomes an activist, right? Somebody chooses to become an activist, and he says, like, I want to contribute, or I want to protest, I want to organize an event, uh, I want to organize a conference, I want to lead an online campaign, or I want to lobby for a new law or change of a law or anything, right? Just the beginning, when somebody decides to lead a plan, or somebody wants to be part of something. So already some program is going on. Let's say it's a conference, or it is a campaign on the ground, or let us say it is about reaching out to the members of parliament to make a change, or wants to be as a new guy. He's a new activist. He wants to be part of that team, and he becomes a part of the team. Now that is when the journey begins, right? But that journey can have ups and downs. What I see is that most often that journey can have ups and downs, and that is where mentoring and is very important, because without mentoring, a person can go in a wrong direction very easily, because a lot of things are emotionally driven, lot of things are chaotic, and it is non-linear, and it is like a very, there is certain amount of complexity also involved, because this is a completely in the domain of leadership. Okay, so there is no, like, path. The path is not laid many times, right? You have to keep on learning it, and everybody's learning. It's not just you are learning, the people around you are also learning, right? Except maybe a very few people with 5 or 10 years of experience. Out of, let's say, 20 paths, they may be aware of 3 or 4 paths. Okay, so even they don't know the path what works, right? And we have to also recognize that this path is not fixed, because the environment is changing, the social media is changing. Like, Twitter before Elon Musk and Twitter after Elon Musk is like completely different, right? And so the paths are constantly changing. So everybody is unfamiliar, right? So there can be a lot of confusion, and that is the time coaching is very important. A person should be also willing to be coached. While he can be independent, he should be willing to be coached. and he should be taking feedback of other people also. So he should have a 360-degree awareness. So that is what is needed. And I'll tell you the pitfalls, like the low of it, like where one can go low. For example, a new activist may start with very big targets, huge targets. Like he wants to, in one city he wants to have 10,000 activists, let's say, or he wants to do a program with, let's say, 2,000 or 3,000 people, which is like completely unrealistic. Okay, so that kind of a thing can happen. Or somebody, it may happen that you get couple of successes, and then you become overconfident and you stop learning, and you experiment something which is very, very risky. Okay, can happen. So there can be lot of pitfalls, lot of places where an activist can make mistakes.
I think we just lost Sir on the video. So we will get back to him. Maybe there's some lag in his connection. So I'll actually hand it over to Virag to take this podcast forward and ask further questions to the people and take things ahead. Virag, over to you.
Sure. So, as we have heard from everyone, the impacts happen
Disconnected.
in their life. Yes, Anil sir.
Yeah, I was disconnected. I think I was disconnected for a minute. Yeah,
Sure. You
yeah.
want to
Are you able
continue
to hear
or
me
should
now?
I go ahead? Yes, yes, Anil sir.
I will just complete. So
Yes,
there
sure.
can be ups and downs. So when there is a up, there is a some kind of a victory or some kind of a result, then you will of course feel good. But then there can be times when you don't get any results in spite of putting an effort, and that's the time one has to be patient, and one also needs to be very patient with other team members, because different activists are different. Everybody brings a different capability, different skill, and different approach. So that's also something one has to learn, to be a team player. While having individual contribution, one needs to have team play. There are certain roles which may be completely, let's say, completely individualistic. Let's say, for example, somebody wants to be a YouTuber for SIF, for a men's rights. He's a YouTuber, so he can be very much individualistic in that space with a team of 4 or 5 people. Okay, so some activity, like somebody is writing press releases, so that's like a most individualistic kind of an activity. Or somebody wants to be, let us say, a stand-up comedian, doing some comedy about men's rights. So it depends. There are ups and downs. Then one has to be careful. But I think once somebody is an activist for 2 years and learned, then I think then it becomes stable for him. Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you
that,
so much.
that's
Virag, please take over.
yes, sure. So, everyone heard about the challenges and the impacts and the nurturing part, right? So, in our life, and everyone who are listening and who is going to listen this in the future. So first, I would like to say that please like, share, and uh, put your comments. Okay, if you have any questions, please do comments so that we will answer on that in this podcast if we are able to cover it. So most of the things, like you will face a mental illness, right? A depression, a panic attacks, or the suicidal thoughts while you are going through some drastic situations, just as many of the people on this our podcast mentioned about the false cases happened, then they came into this journey. तो ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें आपकी लाइफ में कहीं ना कहीं हुई होंगी और कहीं ना कहीं इस तरीके के थॉट्स आते हैं. तो इन सब चीज से जो हमारे साथ एक्टिविस्ट बैठे हुए हैं, दे हैव हैंडल्ड इट एंड दे आर continuously awareing the others, continuously helping the others to get out from all those things, the thoughts which are coming in your mind, how you can deal with it. Because being a man, survival in the society is difficult. But we can turn over this journey and we can find out the purpose. That's where the Save Indian Family Foundation comes into a picture. That where we got a platform where we meet the people. Suprakash sir has mentioned very good points that it's have it happened a transformation, a personality changes, and the connections he has made. Right. So these are the things. These are the positive things which happened in an activist mind. And now I will come to a picture, the broader picture. I think most of you people who are listening us faced it regarding their families, right? Whenever you facing the situation, or whenever you are going through the depression or the panic attacks or any kind of the mental illness, right? Or any kind of the pressure which is happening through the system or through the society against you. The most important part is about your family. So we will ask to our activists that how their family was when they were facing the situation and when they become an activist, and how after that their family are really supporting, or how they help them out, or what needs to be taken care when you are dealing with your families, right? And how the society will take you in a later stage, your jobs, your reputation, how it can be retrieved back. So we will ask to our activists. So I will like to ask to the Subka sir first, that how the family was there when he was dealing the things, and when he started nurturing the others, helping others, how the things got changed for him. Subka sir.
Okay, thank you, Virag. Uh, अभी मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि जब मेरे मेरी ज़िंदगी में ये सब की शुरुआत हुई, ये सारे डिस्टर्बेंसेस की शुरुआत हुई, तो मुझे थोड़ा आभास हो गया था कि कुछ ना कुछ तो पक रहा है। तो जिसकी वजह से जो है मुझे मेरा ये एक शुरू से ही एक आदत है, अगर मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम अगर हो रहा है और ऐसा लग रहा है कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम आने वाला है, आई एम एंटिसिपेटिंग सम प्रॉब्लम, सम डिफिकल्टी इन लाइफ, तो मैं तुरंत उसका सॉल्यूशन निकालना जो है चालू कर देता हूँ। तो जब मुझे लगा कि ये सारे डिस्टर्बेंसेस होने जा रहे हैं, तो मैंने सॉल्यूशन ढूँढना चालू कर दिया। आई स्टार्टेड आस्किंग पीपल अराउंड मी, और दैट्स व्हेन थ्रू सम कॉन्टैक्ट आई गॉट इन टच विथ। तो विराग,
सुबका
आपका क्वेश्चन
सर,
आप एक बार फिर रिपीट करेंगे प्लीज?
हाँ, तो मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि आपकी फैमिली में जैसे पेरेंट्स हैं, सिबलिंग्स हैं, राइट? एंड द थिंग्स, योर
हाँ,
cousins are there, relatives are there,
हाँ,
and the friend circle is there, right? Your job was
राइट,
there, your reputation
राइट,
was there, right? But the things was, maybe
राइट।
it become hard for you at that time, but after becoming an activist, how it is. So can you share like before and after the journey between these activists on these impacts part?
राइट। सो पहले आते हैं कि लाइक बिफोर बिफोर डूइंग गेटिंग इनटू एक्टिविज्म, एक तो फेज मैंने बताया कि मैंने अपना सॉल्यूशन ढूंढना चालू किया। और जब एक बार मुझे कहीं से कुछ आशा की किरण नजर आई, सिर्फ के तौर पे, तो मैं सिर्फ ज्वाइन किया। फिर उसके बाद कई दिनों तक मुझे एक फीलिंग अपने अंदर से, एक हेजिटेशन हो रहा था कि शुड आई गो एंड स्टैंड ऑन द रोड्स विद अ बैनर और पोस्टर, मतलब क्या ये सब क्या करने का मतलब, मेरा रेपुटेशन का क्या होगा, मुझे लोग देखेंगे तो क्या सोचेंगे कि ये क्या कर रहा है, जाके रोड पे खड़े होके बैनर पोस्टर पकड़ के ये कर रहा है, तो क्या कर रहा है। इस तरह का फीलिंग पहले आ रहा था। फिर उसके बाद कुछ दिनों तक मैंने सिर्फ सेंटर में कंटिन्यू किया, बहुत लोगों से इंटरेक्शन हुआ मेरा। फिर सिर्फ के जो सीनियर मेंबर्स हैं उन लोगों से इंटरेक्शन हुआ। फिर उनका जो है एक जो बोलते हैं कि वोरासियस सपोर्ट, चाहे आप कहीं पे थोड़ा सा गलत भी हो तो भी उसको उतना सीरियसली नहीं लिया जाता, उतना जो है डाउनग्रेड नहीं किया जाता किसी को। बल्कि उसको एक अच्छे तरीके से समझाया जाता है, प्रॉब्लम्स को कैसे डील किया जाए वो तरीका बताया जाता है। वो सब जब हुआ तो उसके बाद थोड़ा-सा हिम्मत आया मुझ में, तो देन आई गॉट इनटू दिस एक्टिविज़्म। एक दिन अचानक से सेंटर में ऐसे बैठा हुआ था, तो कुछ एक ऐसे ही बातचीत चल रही थी, तो तुरंत एक एक चीज़ जैसे भड़क गया कुछ, समथिंग ब्लास्टेड आउट। तो मैं एक जो है प्लैकार्ड पकड़ के ऐसे ऐसे थोड़ा-सा एक पोज़ दे रहा था, तो तुरंत मेरे साथ पीछे से राजीव कॉन्फिडियर हू इज़ वन ऑफ आवर मतलब प्राइम मेंबर ऑफ सिर्फ, he came out with another placard, then few guys तुरंत फटाफट से कुछ प्लेकार्ड उठा लिया और वहीं पे इमीडिएटली सेल्फी, उसके साथ बाकी लोगों ने फोटोग्राफ्स लिया, ये सब हुआ, तो वो एक ट्रिगर पॉइंट हो गया। तो वहां से वो सारा फोटोग्राफ्स लेके मैंने सोशल मीडिया में पोस्ट कर दिया। तो ऐसे ऐसे
Right.
होके वो वहां से वो शुरुआत हो गई। तो
Correct. So
अभी
that's
आते
very
हैं
true.
फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ। तो फैमिली मेंबर्स के
Yes.
लिए, हाँ, तो अभी
No,
आपका
no,
नेक्स्ट
continue, बोला
पार्ट
सर.
आता है फैमिली मेंबर्स के लिए। तो फैमिली मेंबर्स के लिए, हाँ, सॉरी। तो मेरे फैमिली मेंबर्स में मेरे पापा जो हैं वो थोड़ा-सा उनको तो थोड़ा हेजिटेशन है, थोड़ा डरते हैं हर चीज़ से। माय मदर इज़ वेरी ब्रेव। तो मेरी मदर जो है, उन्होंने बोला कि भाई जो कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है पूरा डट के सामना कर, और वो मेरे को एक बहुत बड़ी हिम्मत दे दी। फिर उसके बाद अ, मेरे फादर के साथ बहुत इंटरेक्शन होता था कि वो बोलते थे जाके कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ कर ले, तो इस तरह से वो बोलते थे। तो मैंने उनको बोला, आप जो हैं इस मामले में मत घुसिए। ये जो मामला है, ये मेरा मामला है, ये मेरे मेरे अकेले का शिकार है। मैं इसको अकेले मारूँगा, अकेले खाऊँगा, बीच में कोई नहीं आएगा। तो दिस वाज़ माय स्टेटमेंट टू देम। और लोगों का होता है ना, चलो भई कोई डिस्टर्बेंस हो गया, चलो खत्म करो कहानी, दोबारा से लाइफ शुरू करो। अब क्या गारंटी है कि दोबारा लाइफ शुरू करूँगा तो फिर से सब कुछ सेटल हो जाएगा? ऐसा कुछ तो है नहीं। नोबडी कैन गारंटी द फ्यूचर। तो ये सब मेरे दिमाग में कभी आया नहीं, तो इसीलिए आगे ऐसे ही बढ़ता चला गया मैं। फिर उसके बाद आते हैं प्रोफ़ेशनल लाइफ़ में। प्रोफ़ेशनल लाइफ़ में मैं जब भी कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट इनिशिएटिव में एंगेज होता हूँ, तो वहाँ पे मैं जितने मेरे फ्रेंड सर्कल्स हैं, जितने भी टॉप लेवल मैनेजर्स हैं, डायरेक्टर्स हैं, जो भी हैं, जिनके साथ मेरा इंटरेक्शन होता है, मैं उनको सब कुछ सच-सच बताता हूँ कि भाई ऐसा-ऐसा है। लेकिन एक चीज़ हमेशा मैं ध्यान रखूँगा कि काम पे इसका कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं आएगा। ये मैं क्लियर मैसेज देके रखता हूँ। So that way, it has been now 6 years, 9 months running now. 6 years, 9 months, cases are going on, my professional life is going on, my personal life is going on, my musical life is going on. Everything is going on perfectly fine. I'm going, meeting my daughter. She, I know she is being poisoned. उसका जो है माइंड पॉइजनिंग किया जाता है, उसको हर तरह की बात बोला जाता है, मेरे खिलाफ भड़काया जाता है। सो मतलब ये सब होने के बावजूद वो somewhere she is having a little bit of love and affection in some corner of heart, जिसके लिए वो आती है मेरे साथ, अच्छा टाइम स्पेंड करती है, जाती है, आई एम ओके विथ इट। तो प्रोफेशनली, पर्सनली हर चीज सेटल्ड है विद द हेल्प ऑफ सिर्फ, ऑफ कोर्स आई नीड मोर, और उसके
Right.
लिए मैं काम कर रहा हूँ और करता
So,
रहूंगा। और
Subhash,
सिर्फ के लिए
yeah.
हर एक जो मेंबर्स हैं, जो भी आते हैं डिफिकल्टी फेस करते हैं, मुझसे कोई सोल्यूशन, हाँ, So
Yeah.
I'll be helping
Thank you. So,
everyone.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And the very good thing you have mentioned that man is always looking for the solution, and that is the part of the masculinity where man always looked for a solution and try to reach to the solution as soon as possible whenever any kind of a situation arises. Whereas we have seen in our society that women never try to reach to the solution and they just wants to target the things are either in an argumentative way or other manners, right? So we have to think about that how you reach to a solution, and for that you always need a nurturing part. So before going further, I would like people to like this video and put your comments in the comment channel. Okay. So now further, I will talk about the benefits and the most beautiful thing Shubhka sir has mentioned related to the family, the professional life, and the professional life that he has dealing with it by talking about it. Okay. So the most important part I would like to told to our viewers that you need to be vocal if you want to see the changes, the people seeing to you, the family which is not helping you right now, and the society which is not looking towards you, right? Because you are facing the things, and that guilt will remain inside you, and that only will be cured by being vocal. So start being vocal about the situation, the things you are facing up, which will help others to get aware. तो मैं अब आगे जाना चाहूंगा शशांक सर के पास। शशांक सर, आपकी लाइफ में कैसी फैमिली सिचुएशंस थी, ठीक है? और उसके बाद एक जब आप इस जर्नी पर आए, लोगों की हेल्प करना शुरू की, आपने एक एक्टिविस्ट माइंडसेट बनाना शुरू किया, चीजों को रियलाइज करना शुरू किया, उसके बाद आपकी फैमिली ने आपको सपोर्ट दिया या नहीं दिया, या फिर कैसे सिचुएशन हुई, तो थोड़ा सा आपसे जानना चाहेंगे।
थैंक यू विराग। 2020 मार्च का महीना था और मैं एक्टिविस्ट की ओर टर्न अप कर रहा था। उसके पहले मैं फेसबुक पे छोटे मोटे पोस्ट करता था, तो डायरेक्टली कभी किसी को पोस्ट नहीं किया मैंने। हाइड करके, जैसे आप कह सकते हो कि ये ऐसा कुछ हुआ, कोई प्रॉब्लम है, लोग ऐसा फील कर सकते थे कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, बट क्या प्रॉब्लम है मैं किसी को शेयर नहीं करता। जब एक्टिविस्ट माइंडसेट की ओर आया तो सोशल मीडिया पे मैंने मार्च 2020 14 मार्च का डेट था, फेसबुक लाइव में आया और अपने ऊपर लगे हुए सारे एलिगेशन मैंने लिटरली पढ़ के लोगों के सामने सुना दिए। तो जो हेजिटेशन था कि आई एम, मतलब जो मेरे पे क्रिमिनल होने का ठप्पा लगा था, वो उस दिन मुझे लगा धुल गया। उसके पहले मैं सोसाइटी से अपनी आंखें नहीं मिला पा रहा था। इवन शादी या कुछ बर्थडे फंक्शन या किसी भी फंक्शन में जाने की बातें होती थी तो लगता था कि जैसे मैं एक क्रिमिनल हूँ, मुझे लोग कैसे देखेंगे, क्या बोलेंगे, ऐसा कुछ फील होता था। 14 मार्च 2020 का मेरा फर्स्ट फेसबुक लाइव था। मैंने जब लिटरली अपने ऊपर जब लगे हुए एलिगेशन को पढ़ के लोगों को बताया, तो प्रोफेशनल लोग भी मेरे फेसबुक से जुड़े हुए थे, फैमिली मेंबर भी जुड़े हुए थे, अपोजिट फैमिली मेंबर भी जुड़े हुए थे। तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे ब्लॉक कर दिया, क्योंकि वो माइंडसेट जो है वो बहुत लोगों का पता नहीं चलता कि सामने वाला बंदा कर क्या रहा है। कोई खड़ा होके खुद से ये नहीं बोलता कि मैं क्रिमिनल, मेरे ऊपर ये एलिगेशन है, ये एक ऐसा बंदा आ गया जो खुद से खड़ा होके बोल रहा है। तो उसके बाद जब मैंने फेसबुक लाइव किया तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने ब्लॉक किया मुझे, बहुत लोगों ने अप्रिशिएट किया, और फैमिली मेंबर्स में सभी लोग मुझे कहने लगे कि यार ये सब बंद करो, आगे बढ़ो लाइफ में, लाइफ है तुम्हारी, तुम अपने आप अपना वर्किंग प्रोफाइल आगे बढ़ाओ, तुम बहुत अच्छे कर सकते हो, ये सब चीज से बाहर निकलो। जस्ट ये चीज मुझे सुनने को मिलता था कि जल्दी से सेटल करो, निकल जाओ। फादर गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय रह चुके हैं और बिजनेसमैन भी हैं, तो उनका कहना होता था कि फेसबुक ये सब करने से क्या होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा, जो हमारे ऊपर धब्बा लगा है वो नहीं हट सकता। तो ये सारी चीजें मुझे निगेटिव सुनाई पड़ती थी। धीरे धीरे अपने आप को पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट में मैं लेके आया। लेने के बाद मुझे पता चला कि ये सारी बीमारियां हैं जो सोसाइटी में बहुत गंदे तरीके से जम रही है, तो उसको निकालना है। तो फैमिली रिलेटिव और लोग मिलते थे, बोलते थे क्या तुम फेसबुक पे ये सब करते रहते हो, इससे क्या हासिल हो जाएगा, कौन सा अवार्ड जीत जाओगे। ये अदर फैमिली मेंबर्स रिलेटिव मुझे बोलते थे। मैं बोलता था मुझे सोसाइटी में चेंज लाना है, जो मेरे साथ हुआ फर्दर किसी और के साथ ना हो। मैं इसके लिए कंटिन्यूअसली एफर्ट लगा रहा हूँ। हो सकता है आज मैं प्रॉब्लम में पड़ा तो लोग को लगता है कि सिर्फ मेरे साथ हो गया, नहीं, और के साथ भी हो सकता है, तो उनको सेव करना मेरा लाइफ का फर्स्ट जर्नी है। तो ये तो ये सारी चीजें जो है ना मेरे लाइफ में क्रॉस कर रहा था। तो फैमिली लोग का सपोर्ट फिर बाद में धीरे-धीरे मिलने लगा, जब मेरा एक्टिविज्म का सपोर्ट देखा कि इनका काउज़ डिफरेंट है, ये सोसाइटी को अवेयर कर रहे हैं, तो सब सपोर्ट करने लगे। इवन बैंकर्स भी थे मेरे प्रोफाइल में, तो वो लोग भी मुझे सपोर्ट करने लगे। लोग मुझे कॉल करके फिर बोलने लगे कि यार ऐसे देखो एक बंदा है, उसके साथ भी हो गया, तुम इसकी हेल्प कर दो। धीरे-धीरे ये पॉपुलर हो गया कि मैं एक एक्टिविस्ट हूँ और इस तरह के लोगों को बचाता हूँ। कई ऐसे लोग हैं जो सुसाइड करने के माइंडसेट में पहुँचते हैं, उसके पहले मेरे पास आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स इन्फॉर्मेशन आ जाता है। हमारे कुछ रिलेटिव पे अगर केस होता है, तो वो भी पहले मुझे कॉन्टैक्ट करना चाहते हैं कि इसको कैसे डील किया जाए। तो ये सारे चेंजेस एक्टिविस्ट बनने के बाद आया है, विराग जी।
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Shashank sir, for sharing your valuable views about the thing. And I would like to say to the people who are viewing us that the changes comes from inside. Samir, bhai, you are in a call.
Uh, Virag, one small point.
Yes, Anil sir.
Yeah, just there is an important breaking news. Are you guys aware or not? Uh, uh, so, one of the biggest enemies of men in India has died. Okay. So, the biggest enemy party of men is CPIM, Communist Party of India, and its top leader, Sitaram Yechury, has died. Sitaram Yechury is one of the biggest proponent of false case culture. He and his party were always demanding false cases and they were not satisfied with the existing false cases. They wanted more and more false cases, and their party and their party's one of the arms called AIDWA, All India Democratic Women's Association, they were relentlessly campaigning for 1 million false rape cases, false marital rape. So this particular human rights violating leader who was having no shame in doing this, people to follow this news, I think he passed away, he died 4 5 hours back. Okay, and he was not very old, he was only 72. So he had some sudden problem and he died. And this guy was a JNU guy and he was a leader, student leader during emergency time and all. So he was a systematic anti-male, person, and a kind of a leader of Sims. So this is a news, and as far as I am concerned, I am feeling that death of this particular kind of a Hitler kind of a person, this was a fascist person who had no respect for human life. This may weaken their party, and which in turn can save a couple of thousand men, from male suicide. Yeah, please, Virat.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for sharing the most valuable input on this part. And guys, so you are hearing that the things that the male suicides point, which Anil sir has mentioned, and we also have to focus on that part as well. Okay, so and Shashank sir, Supakas sir has mentioned very good points where the changes needs to come from inside. Okay, so it's inside you. It's not anywhere outside that which makes you an activist. Okay, so I would like to share one more thing that, as Supakas sir mentioned and Shashank sir mentioned. The same situation happens with me also in my life, and where my family was helping me in the starting, but the thing was that when the situation comes up, all try to go far away from me. Even your friend circle, your relatives, your job things, most of the things will get impact. But once you start standing up, once you start taking the initiative, so when I was going through all that, and most of the boys and the men who went through all these situations has faced the same kind of thing where they will go into a depression. The things comes to this suicidal thoughts and all is because they started feeling a loneliness, right? And there is no support which they require from their family, that they didn't did anything wrong, but the blames, the allegations which are putting on them will trigger their traumas and put them into all this situation. But when you join the Save Indian Family Foundation, when I got to know about it, and the first question when I meet with the Jadis Sharma sir, he was my counselor in the starting. When I met him, then he asked me only one question, that are you ready to come on a ground to hold a poster? Without any given any second thought, I just said yes, and I went out. And when I went out and holding a poster, I realized the situation, that how the society are treating us. Being a man, if I am saying that I'm in a pain, I'm going through this much kind of a panic thing in my life where I didn't did anything wrong. Even you cry, you do anything, but the society will not see you like that. That's what the realization when it happened. When we understand the reality, then we become a fighter. That it's not only me. It next day the person who is crossing right now in front of me, he will also suffer. But if that person get a help, if he's one eye catches that poster, maybe in the next time if he's going through that situation, that will help them out. That's the benefit of doing an activism and be on a ground. And then when I started my journey, the things started happening. I realized I have created a video and it's available on a YouTube channel also, where I connected with most of our men's right activists from different locations, like all over India, and even from seven seas. People come there in that conference that was on a marriage strike. Okay, so those people get connected, and then I started realizing my skills, which was being nurtured by the our counselors, by our co-founders, our president, right? So these nurturing will happen. So here is not a stoppage, and that way I realized that instead of going into a depression or a panic mode, right? Instead of thinking about the this society or the other people, first we have to focus on ourselves. And then when I started this journey, and now the relatives, the friends who were think to go apart from me, now they all are coming near to me because they got to know that this person is right. And that's only happened when I show the courage. If from myself, if I just put myself into a closed room and just thinking about all the things, I will not come out from that. And no one is coming out. If I remain in a silent mode, I will not speak up. I will not start awareing the people. Then obviously no one will talk about us, right? Being a man, no one will speak about us. Everyone, one or the next day, go for a male suicide. If you go to the data, it's available in a NCRB that the male suicide numbers are continuously increasing. That is because of the lack of the awareness. The people are unable to reach that where they should go. And the point of the misandry in the society, where Save Indian Family Foundation give a platform where there is a no misandry, where we treat every man in a particular manner, in a very nice manner, that even if whatever the situation happen in your life, we will not judge you, we will help you out. You have to come to us, speak to us with the truth, with the reality, and we will try all the ways to help you out. And you should also going forward to help others. So please like and share this video to the other members, and please keep commenting on this live video, and let's reach out to other members, other viewers. Share with your friend circle, job, at your professional place or in your personal place, I can suggest you will see the changes. Once you started speaking up, once you start sharing the things, what you are facing up, your main issues, whatever is triggering you, that will really help you out. So now next I will go on the topic of that what are the benefits and how the activism being on a online and being on a ground, how both are different, and how mentally, physically, and what are the personality development and the leadership qualities it built inside you, right? When you are being at a home doing an online activism but coming out on a ground and doing an activism or supporting others, talking about the issues, how that will change your life, right? So, in our Save Indian Family Foundation, many of the events happened, like a hunger strike in a Pune, in Bangalore. So, I would like to call to the Shriman. Shriman, you share with us that how the online activism is different from the ground activism, and what are the things people learn by coming on a ground, and what are the things they skip if they are not on that page.
Yeah, thanks, Virag. So activism in itself is a very interesting zone when it comes to men's rights. We do activism online, we do activism on ground. Okay, so the major difference which the two has is the experience which we get, as the other panelists are also saying, till the time you don't become uncomfortable, till the time you don't uh, uh, be vocal about it, or you don't face the backlash of the society, you don't become strong to face uh, various situations when it comes to the issues related to men's rights. So most of our activists, they they prefer, or they get the strength of fighting all this menace in the society or the false cases in the society when they come actually on the ground and hold the banner and stand in front of thousands of people crossing by, which ask them questions which are very uncomfortable. These questions are, you know they become very much torturous, but soon, after half an hour or 1 hour, these people start enjoying it, and they like answering to those tough questions, which eventually make them very strong and powerful to face the difficult situations which they come across in life in general, also in the courts, when they face these false allegations and fight these cases. I would like to give you one example. When we organize protests in Bangalore or in any location, we when we ask men to come out and be vocal about it, they are very hesitant. They don't want to come, they don't want to talk about it. They are in their silos, they are very much disturbed, suicidal sometimes, very depressed. But the energy or the strength which activism gives them is not at all comparable to any other experience in life. One day, I was discussing with one of the members. Okay, we are organizing a protest in MG Road. Please come, MG Road in Bangalore, so please come. So he was like, no, I have court dates, I have office work, I have this, I have that. He was giving so many of lame excuses. And it was like, I just told him, do you manage time to go to the court dates? When you have a court date of your matrimonial case or any other false case which is on your head, do you get time to go to that case? How do you manage that? So he was like, oh my god, you have given me a very good thought that I should come and join you guys, because I'd never thought that uh, this could be, a way of finding time for something which will work for you. And the moment he arrived at that location, he was, again in a very discomfort zone, that why you guys are standing on the road and holding banners and making people aware about the problems which exist in the society. So after seeing us on the road with the banners, with the slogans which are written to make the society aware, He got that feeling in from inside, and what he did, he just took one of the banners, and in the middle of the road, on the road divider, he stood, and he kept on standing there for almost like 15 or 20 minutes in the middle of the road. And after that, he felt, he came and told me that, boss, this is a very good feeling, and this gives me a power or energy which will keep me going in all my cases, and going forward in the society. you know Men in general, most of us on this panel, or the members, or the victims which we come across, they don't know the strength which they have till the time such incidences happen in their life, and after that, they are unstoppable. You can take example of the panelists available: Anil sir, Suprakash sir, Sameer, Akshat, Sashank, Virag, everyone, each one of us. We have faced tough situations in life, but the energy and the way we have fought with the situations, not only in court, but in every sphere of life, all this comes from activism and the exposure which we get from activism, and the experience and the feelings and the thoughts which drive us. Men in general, we all know, men in general, till the time they are not pressurized, they are not in uncomfortable zone, they are not they don't do anything, and this kind of thing makes them tough. Let's get the shit out
Shriman,
of this system.
yes, one point I would like to ask you. There is an people join us, right? And they want to remain in a shadow. Okay, they want to remain in a shadow with a online activism, right? By not doing anything. But there are people who comes on a ground, just like people sitting on this panel. They came on a ground, not once, multiple times. So how it help you out, and if you interacted with those people when on a ground the people are there, and the people you interacted, the who are coming on an online, right, or who are only coming to your meetings. So what is the difference between those kind of a mindset of the peoples? Can you share in a few lines?
Yes, definitely. They become powerful. One word I would like to say: they become very powerful, not only in their cases, but in general in life. They have the capability, the strength, the power to speak, which is beyond imagination. We have seen
Correct.
so many examples, not only one, so many examples. The best of the best are already in the panel. So, but these experiences or these strengths cannot be defined in words. Come, join
Right.
us, get the flavor of it, and fight it out.
Right. And we
They
have
have given
seen
us,
one.
they have given us lemons. These biased laws, this, unfortunate situation, fatherless society, suicidal men, crying old age parents. They have given us lemons which cannot be defined or given words to. Those guys who are facing this, talk to them. It is very hard to get words out of a man's mouth of the experiences, bad experiences which they are facing. It remains with them. That's what we have observed in general. आदमी लोग जब अपनी प्रॉब्लम से गुजरते हैं, वो अपने अंदर ही रखते हैं, बट जब वो बाहर आती हैं, then it becomes very difficult.
Right.
So
So
Sriman
thank you so much, Shriman.
talked about lemons, right? So Virag,
Yes, Shubhra.
Sriman talked about lemons. So to most to most people, I always used to say that few drops of lemon are enough to split liters of milk. So the guidance that we get from SIFF and the way we build up ourselves, and today is an auspicious day where we all are sitting together and discussing about activism. These all are those few drops of acidic lemon, which is going to split the dirty plan of judiciary, of the police machinery, of the society, and show them the mirror that this is what you are. Do not be proud of your things, whatever you are doing with innocent men. We are always
विराग
there
भाई,
to show you the mirror.
सी सुप्रकाश
या
सर,
Right.
आपने अभी लेमन का बात किया। लेमन से बहुत सारी चीजें और भी निकलती है। दूध में लेमन को डाला तो दूध फट जाता है, और यहाँ पर ऐसे ही बोलते हैं लोग कि मेरी जिंदगी खराब हो गई, मेरा ये हो गया, मेरा वो हो गया। किसी ने उस दूध को, फटे हुए दूध को यूज करने की कोशिश नहीं किया। उस फटे हुए दूध से पनीर बनता है, जो कि दूध से ज्यादा महंगा बिकता है।
नहीं, प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना सैम भाई कि पीपुल जब क्रिमिनल होने से पहले का जो उनका लाइफस्टाइल होता है ना, वो व्हाइट कॉलर जॉब जिसको कहा जाता है। पीपुल बहुत चॉकलेटी टाइप के होते हैं कि मेरा फैमिली ये वो करते ऐसे मिलते हैं, और जब उनपे इस तरह का अटैक होता है, जो जुडिशियली और उनकी ओन सबसे करीबी पत्नी जब इस तरह का अटैक करती है, तो नेचुरली है कि वो बंदा टूटता है। तो कई जगह मैंने ऐसा पढ़ा है कि भगवान टूटे हुए चीजों का इस्तेमाल कुछ अच्छा करने के लिए बनाता है। तो जब आपके पास इस तरह का विपत्ति आए, तो आप बिखरो नहीं, टूट कर बिखरने से कुछ नहीं होगा। आपको फाइट बैक करना है, और सिर्फ वो प्लेटफॉर्म है जो आपको फाइट बैक करना सिखाता है। तो जब आपके अंदर जो करेज है, आपके अंदर बहुत सारी एनर्जी है, बहुत सारे पावर है, जिसको आप कभी छूते भी नहीं हो, तो जैसे ही आप सिर्फ में आपको लगेगा कि नहीं, यहाँ पे मेरे से भी क्रिटिकल लोग हैं, मेरे पास साथ कुछ नहीं हुआ, तो आपका पेन धीरे धीरे कमता है, और आप इसको बूस्ट अप करते हो अपने लाइफ में। और जो आपको ऑलवेज अपने प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में भी ये चीजें वर्क आपको करने लगेगी, क्योंकि आपका जो पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट है, वो बहुत अपर लेवल पे चला जाता है। इवन कोर्ट में आई एम द पर्सन कि कोर्ट में खड़े होके मैंने, अपोजिट लॉयर मेरे पे चिल्ला रहा था ये क्लीन हैंड से कोर्ट में नहीं आया है, तो मैंने कहा कि वकील साहब, मैं अपने अगेंस्ट में लिखा हुआ एलिगेशन मैं खुद जज साहब को दे रहा हूँ, और जहां जहां मेरी गलती लगे मुझे पनिश कर दिया। आई एम द पर्सन, जज के सामने जज मुझे साइलेंट कर रही है कि यू नो आप कोर्ट में खड़े हो। तो इस तरह का पावर सिर्फ में एक्टिविज्म करने से आता है। तो मैं पीपल से बोलूंगा कि आप एक्टिविज्म करो, आपके अंदर बहुत पावर है, और आप इस पावर
Oh.
को अच्छे जगह पे यूज करो।
तो मैं इस पे एक बात बोलना चाहूंगा,
So it is
जो
a
सुपर सर ने
transformation
बहुत अच्छे से
from
कही।
chocolate to akroट.
या
It's a
Yeah,
transformation from
that's the right
chocolate to
thing.
akroट.
No, chocolate to Ferrero Rocher, the bigger one, the higher quality. So one more good thing regarding lemon, it is that
Good, good,
if life
very good.
gives you a lemon, squeeze it and drink it with a soda. Don't think about it. Okay, so that's one part. और जितने भी हमारे एक्टिविस्ट यहाँ बैठे हैं और जितने भी व्यूअर्स हमको सुन रहे हैं, तो मैं एक बात और बोलना चाहूंगा कि जाको राके साईं मार सके ना कोई। तो डरने की जरूरत नहीं है, चीजें लाइफ में बहुत होंगी, बहुत स्ट्रगल आती है, ठीक है। श्रीमान भाई ने बताया कि आदमी अपनी बात बोल नहीं पाता, जबकि हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म सेव इंडियन फैमिली फाउंडेशन एक वो प्लेटफॉर्म देता है जहां पे आप अपनी बातें शेयर कर सकते हो, अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स एक दूसरे के साथ शेयर कर सकते हो। क्योंकि मैंने जो सिचुएशन फेस की, मैं नहीं चाहता कि आप लोग फेस करो, या हमारे साथ जितने भी एक्टिविस्ट यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं और जो एक्टिविस्ट और भी हैं, they always ready to help you out even if you make a connection. First thing is that if you are ready to do an activism, if you made a connection with them, I can assure you, like if even if you are thinking about any kind of a thoughts are coming at 1 a.m. or at 2 a.m. in mid of the night, you have a person to talk. If you are looking around, you will not find someone, but there is a person for you. And I have faced that thing even at a midnight 3 a.m. I have a person to call. Even I have called Anil sir multiple of the times. I have called to the Sabir bhai. So there are the things which you will make once you do an activism, once you start appearing. Yeah, problems will be there, but how to deal with it in your life, how to encourage yourself, how to become a person with a strength, the continuous efforts of nurturing yourself. जैसे बोला जाता है ना, एक कोयला होता है, लेकिन जब उस कोयले को बार बार मारा जाता है तो लोगों को लगता है हम कोयले को मार रहे हैं, बट वो जब हीरा बनता है तो वो आप बनोगे। तो जहां सोसाइटी और सिस्टम आपको सोच रहा है कि वो आपको प्रेशराइज करके आपको कोयला कोयला समझ के मारे जा रहा है, मारे जा रहा है, और आप या पैनल में देख लो, अगर कोयला समझ के अगर हमें मार देता तो आज हम लोग यहाँ बैठे नहीं होते, हमको हीरा बना दिया है कि हम लोग आपके सामने। So be like that, and we want like everyone should become like that. So I would like to go to the Anil sir to talk about this, the benefits, and how Civil and Family Foundation nurture the people for the online activities which happen, right? The trends, the hashtags which we do, and the ground activism, the events which we organize. So please enlighten us on that part.
And Anil sir, just one more question that I would like to add to that. Something what nursing said about men normally don't speak, and when it comes out, there is, there is a lot that is there inside them. So, is it always necessary that men need to go through or swallow this bitter pill in order to start becoming vocal? And why is it so? So, please, sir, over to you.
Right. I think, yeah, before that, I will answer about activism. Uh, so, if somebody is passionate about activism and playing a bigger role at the level of a community, so it will also impact other men's lives, especially men who are getting victimized. Let us say there is a rally going on or there is a protest going on, and five or six new guys join and they are facing threats from the police. They are getting intimidated. They are on the risk of losing jobs because of false cases. So, seeing this activism, they will get the energy to live, energy to fight. So, when you do activism, you are saving people's lives. You are impacting, you are bringing positivity into people's lives. You are telling the people that you don't have to, give up, in your court case or in your fight, but you can continue fighting. Not just the false case that is in a police station, not just at the court, but also on the street, in the society, right? In the democratic platform, you can fight. So the person who is getting victimized, he has a hope, and he learns how to take on the police if somebody is intimidating him, and how to approach politicians or police or higher judiciary from an activist platform. Because if you see, whenever we talk activism, we always talk about a couple of victim cases in front of the media, right? And so that is how the activism saves people's life. Each one of you would have at least saved couple of hundred lives, in for three. So if those guys had not come in contact with you, then they would have tried to harm themselves. They would have attempted, or they would have succeeded in killing themselves. Okay. So this is a directly a function of activism and saving somebody's life. You may not give them any legal advice. It doesn't matter. Legal advice a man can get from the lawyer, but he has the hope. Biggest thing. And how many people in this world can save? See, doctors save life, but tell me, in 1 year, how many people a doctor may have saved? Maybe the cancer surgeons or cancer lives, or specialists maybe saving lives. Not every doctor is saving lives directly. Okay, indirectly, if you look at the number of lives saved by a doctor will be very, very less in general on an average, right? But an activist is saving lives, directly, and also the activist saves lives through a policy change or a human rights violations are stopping, because of which a lot of people, they are not killing themselves, and they may not be losing their jobs. Or so this is really, really, making an impact on people's lives. So when you are impacting people's lives, you are helping them live better lives, or you are saving their lives. So that directly contributes back to your life. So that is the biggest return that you get whenever you do charity, whenever you do activism for saving people from misery, or people from difficulties, and people from suicide. That's a huge contribution, right? So that is the context on which from which an activist should be looking at the things. Now, Akshat, you asked me the any other question. Did it answer your question, or you had something else in my mind, in your mind, right? So can you repeat, and then I will go to Virag, or
So
if Akshat is not there, so
I'm there, sir.
then I can ask the question.
Right. So my question basically was the that
Mhm.
do men have
Yeah,
to go
please. Yeah,
through,
Akshat. Yes.
yeah, do men have to swallow a bitter pill or go through a really, really tough experience in order to become an activist, or is it a mindset that one possesses? So, in short, are activists born activists, or they can be trained into an activist as well? Because many people, I'm sure, have this whole question that I have never done this, so how can I do it?
Right. Being an activist, that is inside you, okay? But you do not recognize it. You do not see that aspect of your life. And this is what happens with 90% of the people. So people do not recognize what is inside them. See, fighting against injustice is a very natural thing, okay? Somewhere we have killed it. If you see some videos nowadays on online, let's say shorts or some videos, this altruistic nature is there in the animals also. You see one animal is attacking another animal, and then you see some other animal, bigger animal, trying to save one of the animals. So the animals also have certain amount of sense of fairness and justice in the animal world itself. All right, they figure it out. So this is a very natural way to fight against injustice. Okay, unless we are heavily conditioned in a negative way by the society, then we remain cynical, and we do not take responsibility. Okay, so it all depends on the context. That because fighting against any injustice and questioning any injustice is a very natural phenomenon. Okay, and when we are talking about activism, it does not mean it's a rebellion, like withdraw and all that. It is actually a very legal, by following the law of the land we do it. So we are talking about injustice, so everybody so I think it is all about anybody, everybody can be an activist, unless of course if a person is sick, physically not well, or a person is psychologically unwell, like a person is highly schizophrenic or severely depressed, or still a person is in severe trauma, right? An injured person, or a disabled, or a person with limited capability, you cannot expect that kind of a person to do activism, because it can strain, for put further strain on the body and the mind. Otherwise, fighting against injustice, I think anybody, everybody can do it. But it also depends on the conversation that we are having with the people. See, if we have the conversation, right now we are having a conversation, and if you are discussing something, then it will happen. If you are discussing in your city about how to do activism, how to fight against injustice, how to talk to more people to stop injustice, and then it will automatically happen. Yeah. And what was the question of Virag?
So Virag basically wanted you to give an insight about online as well as on-ground activism, and how is it different, and uh, what impact does it make? Does a ground activism make more impact, or online activism makes more impact? And how should people start if they are
Yeah,
on the fence? How should they
Chip.
start?
Yes, I think people should start from ground activism because that is what is uncomfortable. Online activism can spoil you. It can put lot of bad habits. Ground activism can be uncomfortable initially. It is like a bit of a roller coaster, or it can get you some uncomfortable feeling because you are face to face. You are looking at an eye of a simp, eye of a misandrist, or eye of a male feminist, or you are looking eye to eye to a potential feminist, huh? So you are confronting people, eye to eye. It's an old person or a young boy or anybody, right? So you are getting those feelings. Whereas online, everything is very abstract. You are anonymous, or people don't see you and they don't see, you don't see. It is very, very abstract. I mean, I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is a scientist, astrophysicist. He was saying like there was a time people were in a war, so they have to kill each other on face to face. you know so somebody who kills the other soldier has seen the face and he's killing, right? So that was something which requires the bravery. But then it becomes like bow and arrow, and later on it is the guns. So it became very abstract. So people do not really know whom they are killing, or it's from a distance. So everybody should do the ground activity to get a real feel of what is going on. That explains it. The other thing is that the opponents, our opponents, and the media create a narrative that we are a fringe group if you are only in online. But if you are on ground, 100 to 200 kilometers on ground, they can if you can do that, it's only when you have support. So it's important to have ground protests. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. So I basically would now like to ask Sameer that हम एक्टिविज्म के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि ऑनलाइन होना चाहिए, ऑफलाइन होना चाहिए, एंड जितने भी लोगों से मैंने आज तक बात की है, जब भी एक्टिविज्म की बात आती है तो लोग बोलते हैं कि अवेयरनेस बढ़ानी है लोगों में. मेरा टेक इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा अलग है, जहाँ पे आई फील कि अवेयरनेस काफ़ी लोगों में है. एक रिक्शा ड्राइवर में भी अवेयरनेस है कि उसके ऊपर फॉल्स केसेस हो सकते हैं, ठीक है, उसके ऊपर हैरेसमेंट का केस लग सकता है, कभी भी लग सकता है, तो अवेयरनेस है. सो हाउ इज एक्टिविज्म नेसेसरी टू चेंज द सिस्टम in general, right from the police machinery to the society and to the judiciary? How does activism help in that, if you can highlight?
सी एक्टिविज्म में कैसा रहता है हमारा कि हम लोग ये सोचते हैं कि लोग ऑलरेडी अवेयर हैं इस बात से, पर अगर अगर ध्यान से देखा जाए कि हर इंसान को सफाई चाहिए। ओके, उसके बावजूद हम लोग गवर्नमेंट में देखते हैं स्वच्छता के अभियान चलते हैं। हर इंसान को पैदा होता ही वो बोलता है कि यार साफ रहना, साफ रहना, साफ रहना, हर कोई साफ रहना चाहता है। उसके बाद भी गवर्नमेंट, हर कोई ये बोलता रहता है कि साफ रहने के लिए ऐसा करो, ये करो, बुक्स के अंदर बच्चों को ये पढ़ाया जाता है। तो हमारा एक्टिविज्म का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी ऐसा ही है कि लोगों को बार बार याद दिलाना पड़ता है। उनको पता है कि ऐसा हो रहा है, बट उनको ये इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस, इसकी क्रिटिकलिटी बार बार दिखानी पड़ती है कि ये बहुत बुरी तरह हो रहा है, इतना बुरा हो रहा है कि इससे लोगों की लाइफ इफेक्ट हो रही है, इससे सुसाइड कर रहे हैं लोग। आपको भी कभी इसका आफ्टर इफेक्ट होगा। हमारी जो पब्लिक ये लाइफ है, फैमिलीज हैं, डिस्ट्रॉय होंगी, इकोनॉमी कंट्री का खराब होगा। तो मतलब उसके एक्टिविज्म में ये चीज है कि उसकी जो डेप्थ है कॉज की, वो बताई जाए, लोगों को डर लगाए, लोगों को कि ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा हो जाएगा। तो वो चीजें कुछ हद तक लेवल पे जरूरत है। जब भी हम कोई एक्टिविज्म करते हैं, सिर्फ ये नहीं कि अवेयरनेस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से हम लोग एक्ट कर रहे हैं। तो उसमें थोड़ा सा लोगों को हम लोग पब्लिकली लोगों को ये भी करते हैं कि अगर ऐसा नहीं होगा तो वैसा बहुत बुरा हो जाएगा। इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इन आवर लाइव्स।
हाँ, बट समीर, हाउ डज एक्टिविज्म चेंजिंग द सिस्टम? आई मीन, क्योंकि दिस इसके ऊपर आई वुड इवन लाइक अनिल सर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, एंड वी कैन हैव लाइक ओपन डिस्कशन दैट we all know that India as a country is very, very big. Okay, the system is very big, and system भाई corrupt है, system ये है, system वो है। हमारे एक्टिविज्म करने से सिस्टम में चेंज कैसे आएगा और कैसे आता है, उसके ऊपर थोड़े से इंसाइट्स चाहिए। शशांक सर कैन ऑल्सो स्पीक अबाउट दिस, कि अगर ये किया तो क्या। बिकॉज काफ़ी लोग इसलिए भी एक्टिविज्म नहीं करते हैं, थिंकिंग के यार इतने टाइम से चला आ रहा है भाई, चलते रहने दो, हम तो बहुत छोटे से लोग हैं, हम क्या ही चेंजेस ले आएंगे सिस्टम में। और हम लोगों ने बहुत अलग चीज़ें देखी हैं एज एक्टिविस्ट्स, जहाँ पे हम लोग थोड़े बहुत चेंजेस लेके आए हैं, एंड सिर्फ एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बड़े चेंजेस लेके आया है। ठीक है, so I would like to discuss that कि how SIF has got changes and how we at our personal level we have seen changes in the system by activism. So समीर भाई,
अक्षत
भाई या
अक्षत भाई अक्षत भाई, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा प्रोस्पेक्टिव लोगों का चेंज है। जब मैं एक्टिविज्म की ओर टर्न ले रहा था तो मैंने फाइंड आउट किया कि पीपल जो है वो अपनी भड़ास सोशल मीडिया पे निकालते हैं। वो एक्टिविज्म नहीं है, वो एक्टिविज्म नहीं है। मैं मोस्ट ऑफ दी मेंस राइट्स एक्टिविस्ट को देखता हूँ कि वो अपने इन लॉज को, अपनी वाइफ को, अपने ओपोनेंट्स को अब्यूज करते मिलेंगे या कुछ बल्गर मैसेज उनके अगेंस्ट में लिखते हुए पाए जाते हैं। उनको ये लगता है कि ये एक्टिविज्म है। ये एक्टिविज्म नहीं है। यहाँ पे एक्टिविज्म को पहले आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि एक्टिविज्म है क्या। जब मैं सिर्फ की ओर देखता हूँ तो सिर्फ एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जहाँ पे डिसिप्लिन सिखाया जाता है। आई एम दी पर्सन कि मैं भी इस तरह की गलतियां कर चुका हूँ। ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं कोई भगवान हूँ जो मुझे नहीं मैंने ये गलतियां नहीं की हैं, मैंने भी की है। इट्स ओके। लेकिन जब बात आती है कि आप लोगों को क्या दे रहे हो, आपका एक्टिविज्म का रोल है कि आपको देना है, सोसाइटी को देना है। आपको आप आपके अंदर से जो पावर है वो आपको सोसाइटी को देना है। तो जब आप एक्टिविज्म करना स्टार्ट करते हो तो ये सारी चीजें होती है। जुडिशरी जो है वो बहुत लेवल तक बायस्ड है। जब आप एक्टिविज्म की पावर की ओर देखते हो तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि जुडिशरी को चेंज करने के लिए माइंडसेट पहले चेंज करना पड़ेगा जुडिशरी का। हम बोलते रहेंगे कि बायस्ड है, तो उसको सॉल्व कौन करेगा? वी आर दी पीपल। आप अवेयरनेस लोगों में फैला रहे हो, जुडिशरी में जा रहे हो, लेकिन जब जुडिशरी की तरफ आप देखोगे तो वो स्टिल बायस्ड है। उनके पास हर कुछ होते हुए भी वो फीमेल को प्रेफर करते हैं। रीजन बहुत कॉमन है, क्योंकि हम लोग जो है एक्टिविज्म करके इस लेवल पे नहीं आ पा रहे हैं जहां पे जुडिशरी को हिट किया जाए ऑलवेज। तो मैं कई ऐसे विक्टिम से मिल चुका हूँ जो बोलते हैं कि सर जुडिशरी चेंज नहीं होता। तो एक अकेले से जैसे अभी अक्षत भाई ने कहा कि अकेला पर्सन लोग को लगता है कि मैं अकेले क्या कर लूंगा, तो हर कोई अगर यही सोचेगा तो कभी भी चेंजेस नहीं आएंगे। एक अकेला आदमी चना भाड़ नहीं फोड़ सकता, ये एक कहावत है हमारे तरफ में। तो उसी तरह जो है, आप हम सब यूनाइट होकर अगर जुडिशरी को चेंज करना है तो आपको एक पर्टिकुलर वे में चलना होगा विद डिसिप्लिन। आप अपनी भड़ास सोशल मीडिया पे मत निकालो कि आपके ऊपर फॉल्स केसेस हो गए हैं तो आप उसका भड़ास निकाल रहे हो। इट इज रॉन्ग वे, ये गलत रास्ता है, इसको आप करेक्शन करो और एक काउस की तरफ जाओ कि मुझे ये चेंज करना है। तो जैसे अर्नेस्ट अब अभी एक रिसेंट जजमेंट 2000 आई थिंक कि 2012-13 में ऐसा कुछ जजमेंट आया था अर्नेस्ट कुमार वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ बिहार का, जहां से अरेस्टिंग बंद हुआ। तो ये एक्टिविज्म, ये पावर वहीं से आता है। 498 में अरेस्ट कॉमन था, हर किसी के पेरेंट्स अरेस्ट हो रहे थे, बहुत कुछ। ये ये पर्टिकुलर जजमेंट के बाद अरेस्टिंग बहुत कम हुआ है। अब पुलिस भी जो है वो चार्जशीट फाइल करने से पहले 10 बार सोचती है अरेस्ट करूं या ना करूं। 41 का नोटिस कंप्लायंस होना शुरू हुआ। तो ये सारा चीज एक्टिविज्म की ओर हमें ढकेलता है और ये एक्टिविज्म का रियल पर्पस होना चाहिए। ये मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू।
Okay. Anil, sir, I would like to bring you up on this discussion. SIFF from the past 20 years has done a lot of protests and made sure that a lot
Akshat,
of changes.
Akshat, I think, Akshat, I think
Yes, sir.
very important point here Shashank discussed. I'll just say two, three things activism, about judicial activity. If you see you know, last 4 days, there are like, very important four judgments or four different observations have come from Bangalore High Court and Supreme Court. Completely, pro men and talking about false cases, huge alimony, extortion, when the marriage is not even consummated, right? Huge things are happening. If you see last 1 month itself, so much of a shift has happened, right? Now, is it accidental? It is not accidental. Let us understand what may be happening or what happens. The system is bad. The judicial system is bad. We all know, everybody knows. Feminists also know, we know, media knows, everybody knows. But then there are some good people inside the judiciary. There are good people, maybe they are 10%, 15%, 20%, 5%. They are good people. They are principled people. They are good people. And they have good intentions. I say this because I have met retired judges. I have met sitting judges also, you know. So as part of activism, minus two small their offices and all. I have met law commission, national law commission or state law commission judges who work there. So what exactly happened? See, activism does not mean that you have to powerfully defeat somebody like Bangladesh. The entire student body rose and they toppled the government. That is not what we are aiming at, and that is not what we are doing.
आई थिंक कि अनिल सर डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए हैं।
Can you hear me now? Can
या
you hear
या
me now?
यस सर, वी
Yeah,
कैन
yeah.
हियर यू।
So activism means you just have to stand in front of a powerful people and say, I know you guys are naked. I know you guys are stupid. I know you guys are corrupt. It is basically, that particular story of king has no clothes. So if the system, people in the system, people in judiciary know that somebody is watching them. In social media, in Twitter, somebody is watching them. And somebody knows about all their weaknesses and their bad judgments, then they become defensive. They think that they will be exposed. Okay? So that gives the good people in the judicial system the room to bring change. There are bad people, but the bad people are afraid that they're exposed. You know, see, these judges will think tomorrow after retirement. Let's say so some Supreme Court judge is completely biased. He's not following the constitution. But he will think tomorrow he's in an airport, he's in a train station, and somebody may shout, some insults at him, or he will just shout at him saying that you are a fraud. You did not follow the constitution. Somebody may heckle him in India, but somebody may heckle him in California or in New York or in Boston, somewhere, right? आपको अपना मुंह दिखाना है बॉस. You have to show your face to the people, and that itself, that fear itself can stop injustice. If not 100%, it can reduce the injustice by 20-30%, and that brings the change. Okay, yeah, now you can ask the main question.
So my question basically was that past 20 odd years, Save Indian Family Foundation has done a lot of on-ground protests, has reverted back a lot of laws that were going to come in, and then because of the protests, it did not. It has been doing a lot of judicial activism, a lot of political activism, and from the perspective of men. Uh, Going ahead, the new activists that would want to join, what is it that they look for in the future, and what is the roadmap that Save Indian Family Foundation has when it comes to activism for the future, as well as what are the changes that the organization is planning to bring ahead with activism?
Can you please repeat the first part of the question again?
Whatever activism that has been done in the past, now the new activists, when they come in, they want to know what is the roadmap ahead and what are the changes that we would like to bring in the system through Save Indian Family Foundation through activism. So, what is the roadmap for new activists ahead? Because they want to be
Yeah.
impactful. They want to
So,
create an impact.
yeah. See, right now, what we are doing is like the online activism, some amount of ground activism, right? But to do really powerful activism, we need to build new structures, okay, new machinery, okay, new processes, new machinery. Without that, whatever activism we do, it may not give big results, okay, because our opponents, the media, the feminists, the government, the political parties, and the judiciary, and the foreign forces, they are also learning. See, we are trying to improvise by learning about them. They are also learning about us. They are finding what are our strengths and weaknesses, and they are changing their strategies, right? So whatever victories we got in first 15-20 years, we and many other NGOs together we got, we may not, it will not be at the same rate because the dynamics have changed. So we need new kind of machinery, new kind of catapults, new kind of armory, new kind of weaponry, and the force that has to be built, right? New tanks or new air force, new everything, ammunition and weapons have to be built for the new kind of activity. Without that, we will be repeating the same old stuff. So how do we bring in the new kind of let's say better software tools, right? Better social media strategies, and we need better training, better internal culture, better training process. Social media is good for men in terms of reaching out to people and creating awareness. The other thing is that you get so many videos because there is CCTV. There is also phone based recording, which captures lot of content of abuse of men and violence against men and boys. That is the good part. But the bad part is that due to too much of audio, video, and text content, it also distracts the activist. So if you're an activist and you are in social media, in a day you are getting so much of content that it can disable you, it can numb you, it can make you insensitive, right? So we have, if we have to become extremely efficient activists, we have to make rules and have a very disciplined culture. Plus we need some other kind of tools. I don't know what. Maybe we need one app for only for activity. Maybe it's an app. I don't know. It can be an app which, if you are using that app, you are interacting social media through that app. It may completely alter the way you do things. So there are lot of dynamics that have changed, and also, it is also very important that we need to nurture the leaders at all India level. Okay, see, earlier times we had 15, 20 cities where we were doing activism. Maybe we need 500 cities or 500 cities and places where we need activism. Now that means we have to train that many leaders, right? And we have to hold them together. It is like, India's freedom struggle. It was not the same. It was growing. Every decade it went on growing. Now, if we want to grow to, let's say, every state has 10 cities protesting for men's rights and against false cases, 10 cities where there is protest happening at the simultaneously in a state. So that means we have 150 cities. That means we need a leadership training. We need that many leaders to be nurtured. So that requires a completely new structure, new framework. We have to create it. We cannot go on an emergency mode, somehow, like past, like let's just go and jump in and do it without any process or any plan. So that is what is needed, and these plans have to be created by the new activists. It's not like we five guys creating and giving it to them. No, we have to listen to the new guys and we have to tell them that we need this machinery, we need a systematic process. That in Maharashtra, how do we reach to, how can we have activists in 10 cities? In Karnataka, how can we have 8 cities? We have activists. So how do we mushroom all along the country? Maybe in 400 or 500 places. So that all, we guys may not be able to do, or we may have limitations. But it is the new guys who are in 20s and 30s, the new guys, they will, lay that path. Okay, so we have to empower these people to create that new vision, new plans. Okay, so that is what we are doing our plan.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
sir, for that wonderful insight. Uh, on the panel, I think we have Sham sir from Bangalore who has joined us. So I would like to actually ask him to speak something about how activism can change the system and why is it necessary, why is it the need of the hour. So if you can just enlighten us on that a little bit, that'll be really great.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. First of all, thank you for giving this opportunity to be on a panel of thought leaders. It is a very important topic which has been picked up, and quite a dynamic one, which suits today's world. Because if you look at an organization in today's world, most of the organizations are trying to adapt the thought leadership through activist mindset. Everyone is eager to get the right input in the society so that we make world the better place to live. Let me come directly to the topic, activist mindset, right? So initially when you guys shared me that I need to be on this panel and speak something about activist mindset, uh, I lot of thoughts flew around, and I was actually thinking, should I speak about the basics of it, or should I speak about the leadership traits that are being looked at today and in today's corporate world to adapt the activist leadership mindset so that they can grow their business, they can contribute to the society and bring change in the society. uh, I need not go to the basic definition of activist, because we know that a person who understands that there is a requirement of a change in the society is very essential and very important. That particular person thinks about it, gives a very clear thought to it, and performs his duty as a citizen, as a son, as a parent, or someone to bring change in the society. So that makes him an activist. But what is the difference between a normal person and an activist? It is very important to understand that. So if you look at a normal person, a normal human life, every day there will be one or the other problems he will be facing through. So he is also facing a problem. He also wants to bring change in the society, and he also does his little bit, whatever is in his extent, in his capability. So can we call him an activist? I would say that he is at the verge of becoming an activist because he's at least acknowledging that there is a problem. He's at least understanding that there is something that we have to do to bring change in the society. That is where the concept, the seed of activism starts. But what exactly is activism, and what exactly uh, is the content that differentiates a normal person who thinks that there is a problem, who acknowledges there is a problem and want to bring change in the society, compared to the activist? Normal person thinks that there is a need of a change to be brought into the society, but he believes that he is limited by capacity and capability to bring that change. He believes that a superhero will arrive and they will create all the necessary things that are needed. Whereas an activist gets onto the ground, believes that he has to bring the change, and only he can do it before anybody else can do it. That is number one. So you can say an activist is someone who has a proactive mindset rather than a reactive mindset, who addresses things before they go wrong, who has a very, very far sighted vision, who has a very wider knowledge of the problem that he is looking at. That is number one. So you can say an activist is someone who carries a proactive mindset. That is number one trait. Number two, he always carries a bigger picture. He is not confined to his selfish means. He is not only thinking about me. He is not only thinking about getting the things sorted at that point of time. He always has a bigger picture. And in that bigger picture, he believes that he has a larger responsibility to take. By default, taking that larger responsibility, he acquires much more power. So the second trait of an activist is he looks at a very larger picture, owns a wider responsibility, and thus he gains much power. The third and very, very important point, an activist has to look at the problem from an holistic view. You can never look at a problem from a confined, a very, very narrow mindset. The wonderful thing that I like about Anil sir is when we have interaction, he brings such a wide variety into the discussion where he gives an holistic view, and he says how we can contribute into the society without causing harm. What does that mean? Let me give an example, a quick example. Uh, this reminds me of a serial which I used to watch when I was a kid. There used to be a comedy series called Jaspal Bhatti, which used to come. Right? I don't know how many of you have witnessed it or watched it. So a politician approaches Jaspal Bhatti, and Jaspal Bhatti is sort of a political consultant, and he says, "Hey, we are running a slogan called Garibi Hatao for a very very long time, and we are not able to eliminate poverty." So Jaspal Bhatti gives a very wonderful idea. He says, rather than saying Garibi Hatao, you say Amiri Badao. So whoever is poor will become little bit more Amir, okay, a little bit more rich, and whoever is rich will become further rich, and whoever is richest will become further richest. Okay, so everyone is happy. Uh, that triggers a concept of an holistic view. You can look at a problem in that angle also. Okay, but there is a small problem with that. When you talk about Garibi Hatao, you're actually focusing on the exact problem that is prevailing. But when you're trying to say Amiri Badao, you are overshadowing the problem, and somewhere you are deepening the problem. That is where, when the concept of men's rights come into picture, one need to be open. That is where, when the concept of men's facing the problem comes into picture, one need to be open, acknowledge it, and tries to address it. Whereas our society, somewhere, in correcting the women's problem, which they believe or which they think exist at a very very larger extent, and problems are there to exist, right? The thing that we can do is to find solutions and make society a better place. By saying this, I'm not neglecting, or I'm not debunking any of the statement where people say that there are problems in society. Yes, there are problems in society, but how to address those problems is something, as an activist, you need to think, and you need to acknowledge, and you need to address, and you need to work on. Somewhere, a group of people who came forward saying that they are well wishers and they want to bring women empowerment, somewhere they adapted the second approach proposed by Jaspal Bhattiji. What is that second approach? You cannot bring down poverty, so increase richness. Amiri Badao. So they said, we don't find a mechanism to address problems which are in the society. So what we will do is we will put everybody to more problem. So problem and problem gets neutralized, as a result of which no one will complain. What they tried doing with that, in that approach, they tried putting more and more burden on man, who already was in burden because of many other things. That is where all the approaches that they tried adapting to address this drastically failed. The biggest problem is they tried addressing an emotional issue with an materialistic mindset. They tried addressing an emotional issue with an concept of punishment. They tried addressing an emotional issue with the concept of currency. When your approach towards the problem is wrong, you will never ever address the problem. You will only end up enhancing the problem more and more. So, an activist need to carry a holistic mindset. He need to see and acknowledge that there is a problem in the society, but to address that problem, you should not destroy something which is working perfectly. When you do that, you end up messing every nook and corner of the system, and you create more chaos in the society. That is what somewhere is happening. The social legal system that has been created to address women's issue somewhere is drastically failing. One very very good practical example we have today is, way long back, years back, there was a Nirbhaya case. After years, after bringing in lot of laws, we even have Kolkata case. What has happened in between? In between, you see Lucknow girl case, you see Bangalore women case trying to harass the people who go to collect money which she has taken as debt. You see a lot of false rape cases coming into picture, You see a lot of threats given to auto drivers when they drop the girls in the late night, saying if they ask money, they will be charged with women assault. One case to another case, has anything changed? If I look, if the society gives a holistic view, the only one thing that has changed is there are more and more troubles introduced on another gender. That is where you need the concept called the other side story, the other side thinking, the other side concept. Unless we understand what is happening at the other side, unless we understand how the socio legal economical system works and where exactly the problem is, we will not be able to address it. Third very important trait, once again I am repeating, an activist need to have a holistic view. He cannot carry a narrow view, a bigger picture he need to have. At the same time, he need to have a holistic view so that he can actually work on the problem and address it. So with this, I close my note on the opening set of activist mindset. Let us continue the discussion.
Thank you so much, Sham sir, for coming on to our panel and sharing a very good mindset points. The proactive mindset, the larger picture which everyone has to see, and the holistic view. I have seen many of the people like they remain into their personal problems whenever they reach to us, a newer person when reach to us, they remain into their own cocoon, right? In their own, they want to sleep on their own couch and all the things, but they don't want to come out from that comfortable zone. Or in society, if someone said something, they don't want to bring out their own problem to address it. Where you have mentioned very clearly that if you want to see a wider picture, you have to come out and speak about it so that the society should also get to know about that there is a other side of the story which also needs to be heard. And that's what our Sevendel Family Foundation at a point do it, like where person comes up, speak with us, and then we give them the platform to speak up and give them the power that you are not a person of the this common man thing. You are different, you are the star in your own story, so live it in your own way and become an individual with all the personality development and the leadership qualities which you are having, that you can encourage others, you can aware others, you can speak up. The problem looks very bigger, but it actually is smaller if it is viewed with a holistic view where we acknowledge the things, where we view the things. So, with that, I would like to say one more thing, that if you work for the cause, obviously you will win your cases, but you will win any life situation because you started looking into in a broader picture. Wherever you will stand, either it's at your job or the reputation which you have lost, you will start seeing the changes in your own life when will come up and starting working for the cause, starting helping. So, to all the viewers who are viewing us, if you really want to see the change in yourself, the instead of limiting yourself into a one boundary, you should start thinking that how I can help others. See, helping one by one will increase the numbers. Plus, it also gives you the confidence that you have that much capability that you can do that thing. You have that much power inside you. If you just remain and sit like someone comes and help you out, no. Being a man, that is our masculinity, which teaches us from the last various years, thousands of years, that men can achieve anything. So you should not degrade yourself, and that's what the activist mindset, which when it started developing inside you, surely you will achieve all the good things in your life, whatever you want. You will not remain there. You will start developing, you are start going through the things. That's why we would suggest everyone to participate in a physical meetings wherever it's happening, right? To do an activism whatever is possible from your side, either online or a ground activism, go and participate in it. I can assure you that you will see changes in yourself, and that will truly, once you stand on the ground, I can truly say that the activist is inside you, the leader is inside you. You will start initiating the process, you will start helping others. The other person who watched you, if he think about a suicidal thought, even once in his life, he will think about you, that that person was standing there, why he was standing there. He will try to find you out, to connect you out, and like this we all get connected from one by one to each other. And now Civil and Family Foundation is not only helping a man's, it helps to the parents, it helps to the sisters. Okay, all connected. And the thing is that the man who joined here got a family, and we become a family with each other. That's why not just wants to speak about it, or just we are doing activism or the things that these things needs to come from your inside, that you have to start using your proactive mindset to come up with that picture. Now I will move to the another topic, that we, as Anil sir also mentioned, that the trend is also changing in our law system nowadays. The good judgments are coming up, the headlines if you are watching up. But I would also suggest that you have to understand the chronology behind it. You have to go through those judgments. Don't go with the headlines. So the holistic view inside you, once you start viewing it with a broader perspective, that what actually happening, and then you will realize that whatever is coming up, how I can counter it, how I can tackle with it, how it's going to impact in my life. You will start doing that part. So I would go through the Shashank sir, that most of the Supreme Court judges and most of the High Court judges mentioned about that domestic violence and that 498A is a hardly misused, or it's a legal terrorism, right? But they only speak up, but there are no amendments happened, right? And even a new BNS has comes into a picture. So how a activist should realize it and cope up with that what actually they are trying to do. So what chronology behind it, right? They only say it but never do an amendment. And I have went through the comments on our live podcast, that people are saying that there is no protection. So what we can do? And even a PIL in a Supreme Court was being declined, right? So how we can go to a positive side of it, and how we can help the people, instead of just thinking about, okay, these judgments are coming, Supreme Court is saying, or a PILA was disregarded, so we should not come out and not do any kind of an activism, or we, what is the use of being people, right? Because they are not coming in a large number, and that's where I think we are lacking. So Sasank sir, up to you.
या थैंक यू विराट जी। देखिए जहाँ तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट का जो जजमेंट आ रहा है ना, वो पीपल जो देखते हैं, जहाँ तक मुझे समझ में आता है कि पीपल ये सोचते हैं कि वो जजमेंट आया तो वैसा ही मेरे केसेस में भी होना चाहिए, उनका व्यू ये है। तो पीपल, मैं ऐसे कई लोगों से मिल चुका हूँ जो हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आते हैं और मांगते हैं कि सर फलाना जजमेंट दे दो, फलाना जजमेंट दे दो। उनको ये नहीं पता कि ये जजमेंट एक डिफरेंट केस में आया था, आपका एक डिफरेंट केस है, सरकमस्टांसेस ऑलवेज डिफरेंट होते हैं, तो जजमेंट कभी भी एक जैसा नहीं रहता। हाँ, अब कोई ऐसे चीजें हैं जो पब्लिक के लिए बन जाती, जैसे रजनीश वर्सेस नेहा का जो जजमेंट आया, वो सभी लोगों में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुआ, वो इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया। अर्नेश कुमार वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ बिहार का भी इस जजमेंट के अंदर में हम लोग ले सकते हैं। तो इस तरह का जजमेंट जब आ रहा है, तो ये कैसे आ रहा है, जजेस का माइंड कैसे चेंज हो रहा है? तो क्या हो रहा है कि जो अवेयरनेस, जो एक्टिविस्ट हम लोग फैला रहे हैं, ये कहीं ना कहीं पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, जो जुडिशरी के टॉप लेवल हैं, वहां तक ये बातें पहुंच रही है। और उनको समझ में आ रहा है कि, उनको ये समझ में आ रहा है कि एक पार्ट जो है वो मेरे इस फैसले से नाखुश होगा, और उनको वो खुश करने के लिए कुछ कुछ ऐसे जजमेंट दे रहे हैं जो मेंस को फेवर करते हैं। मैं कई ऐसे वीडियोस भी देख चुका हूँ जजेस का, जो यूट्यूब वगैरह पे वायरल किया जाता है, जिसमें मोस्टली जो है वो मेंस को जो फेवर करते हैं वो हाईलाइट किया जाता है। तो जो पॉपुलैरिटी जजेस चाह रहे हैं वो इस तरह से निकाल के ला रहे हैं। तो यहाँ तक मुझे यही कहना है कि आप जब जजमेंट को रिव्यू करोगे, हर जजमेंट को रिव्यू करो, तो आप पाओगे कि हर जजेस का एक अलग माइंडसेट होता है। अभी कुछ दिन पहले एक बैंगलोर के बंदे ने 3-4 जजमेंट एक ही जज का मेरे से शेयर किया था, हमारे ग्रुप में शेयर किया था। तो वो सब डीवी का था। उस जज का माइंडसेट अचानक से मुझे स्टडी हो गया कि वो क्या कर रहा है अपने सामने आने वाले लिटिगेंट्स का। मैं उस जज से कभी मिला नहीं, मैं सिर्फ उनका 4 जजमेंट पढ़ा और मैं उनका माइंडसेट जान गया। तो ये एक्सपीरियंस है। तो माइंडसेट जजेस का भी टुवर्ड्स मेन नहीं है, और ये एक्टिविज्म आपका वो रोल कन्वर्ट करके जजेस को दे रहा है। तो एक्टिविज्म करना आपके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है।
That's very true. So the chronology behind it is very much crisp, and it's being told that they are trying because the counter is happening in the society. The people are coming up and being vocal. If you remain in your cocoon, things will not happen. But if you come out, do an activism, participate in the things, talk about it, speak about it, the wrong thing which is happening in the society, which is happening with the mans and other things, the male suicides which are happening. If you come and talk about it, the problems you share, then things will start changing. And that's where we see the changes. So we have to understand that it's not a one night job or a one day job, but we have to understand that it's a continuous process. But if you go and just sit and think that things will change by itself, no, it will not happen. That's why we are here to help you out in all the problems whichever you are facing. And Save Indian Family Foundation not only gives you a hand in your legal issues, right? It gives you a hand in your mental illness, your mental awareness, your mental health, and your financial, your jobs, how you deal with the things. Because somewhere or someplace that is affecting. So I would like to call Anil sir on the panel to say a few words about that, about the judgments and how the person achieve the things in their jobs and careers, and what are the things Civil and Family Foundation, being a family, help out each other inside for these activists who participate in the things, and what please share some of the insight, like what are the events we have done in our past, and what is the impact on the society on that.
Yeah. So firstly, this first part, when you talk about judiciary, right? Judiciary giving judgments or judges giving judgments or politicians making statements in favor of men or politicians taking on false cases or alimony and other things. My interactions with them, they often say that, we are facing a lot of pressure from feminists, from the media. Maybe they may not say this, but still from foreign media. So these politicians and the judges, they are always under pressure, constantly. Okay, and this pressure, the feminism is very well entrenched with the National Commission for Women, Women's Ministry, and government's formal policies, and World Economic Forum or World Bank and Bill Gates. So this entire architecture or structure that creates pressure on the judges. So that does not give the judges enough room to give a judgment in favor of men, or change the system. For example, to punish women for filing a false case, there is a law, the law is there, but they face a lot of pressure. That pressure is continuous, and we people realized this long back. 20 years back only we realized this, that these people, like the judges or police and the politicians and all these people, they are facing a lot of pressure. Now the question to us, the men's activists, the new men's activists, was like, can we reduce this pressure a bit? If we can just reduce this pressure by distracting or fighting with the feminists, if we can, like say Bollywood also creates a lot of pressure. Okay. Now let us say we create pressure on the Bollywood to some extent by calling for boycott of some actor or actress. We keep them on back foot. Then the judges and the politicians will be free to act. Okay. So then they will do naturally. Like I have met members of parliament who have clearly said that we cannot talk like this because we are under a lot of pressure, and media will lynch us, media will demonize us, media will try to destroy our career. So this is all going on. So if we can give a issue cover fire, let us say 1 crore alimony, 1 crore alimony, 1 crore alimony, we are talking for almost more than 1 year, almost 1.5 years we are talking, right? And then the Supreme Court says 50 lakh alimony, right? And then this 6 lakhs per month alimony thing comes out. See, because we are giving the cover fire, okay, you take out this cover fire for like say 2-3 years, you see what happens. So we, because there is a chatter in the social media, and that is going to the lawyers, that is going to the judges. See, judges go to so that is how this whole entire thing flows, right? Now, if you talk about what we did in the past, the major things, one of the major things we did was that we created a organic movement, organic, politically incorrect. Of course, men's movement is politically incorrect. We created an organic movement using internet. 2004, 2005, we helped mushroom men's groups across India in just 2 to 3 years. So 2004, 5, 6, 7. By 2007, we have more than like 15 different groups in different cities. So they were told you can have separate name like Protect Indian Family and Save Family and some other name, and Parivar Bachao something and all that kind of names. So it was a loosely held coalition with a central body, central resource. So in just 3 years we built that whole infrastructure. Okay, by keeping the people. There were fights. There was a hell lot of indiscipline or questioning, and NRIs were also a group, and there were NRIs creating all kinds of issues. All kinds of dynamics was there, but we could hold everybody together in spite of infighting or ego issues or whatever. All those differences, like somebody is not a good person in the media and put somebody else and all that kind of things. See, in a movement there will be positives, there will be negatives, and there will be successes and failures, but it is like a cricket team. Sometimes you have to bet on some kind of a risky player, like the selectors who are selecting those 10, 15 players. It's a very tough thing to do, right? So there was a lot of pushes and pulls, but in spite of that, we created like 15 different NGOs and groups. That was a very big success. That is what led to change in 498, a stopping arrest, and then that future led to Anish Kumar, Rajesh Kumar, those other judgments and all. And that infrastructure also helped us defeat the marital property law. In 2012, 13, 14, it was a huge emergency, right? All over India, there were protests happening to defeat that marital rape law. And also, sorry, that was marital property law. We could also stop the marital rape law during that Nirbhaya time because there was a huge backlash in during that Nirbhaya thing. But then we could clearly put, and with proper force, we could stop the marital rape law also. Sexual harassment at workplace law, our NGO SIFF and another bunch of NGOs together could get a misuse clause, right? If a woman is misusing the sexual harassment law, she will be punished. Some kind of a punishment. So there is a clause written in the law itself. Okay. So these are some of the big things. The another big contribution we have is that we connected with the foreign men's activists actively since 2005, 2006, and due to that, we could actively work to cut off $1 billion of funding, which was actually originally Joe Biden's plan to give $1 billion to women of India, Pakistan, Mexico, Croatia, and some African countries and all that. So Indian feminists would have easily got 300, $400 million. That was cut off under International Violence Against Women Act program in US Congress and US Senate. We went in to meet the diplomats and all, and we told them that don't waste this money. You had a recession in 2008-9. Why are you wasting money, right? And we also told the Republican Party that if this money will be used to promote abortions, this money will be used to promote family breaking. So these are the main things. Like then you come back to recent years when we campaigned against marital rape law. Basically, what we are saying is government can pass any number of laws: marital rape law, marital molestation law, marital theft law, marital sexual harassment law. You can pass, no problem. But the point is, Indian police has no right to investigate. Indian police can't investigate. So the Indian police is basically the postman, right? So that is how we basically campaigned with marriage strike. We called for marriage strike, and then that led to a huge international and Indian media coverage and all that. Basically gave the cover fire, that additional cover fire that the government needed, in the Delhi High Court. Of course, we also successfully campaigned not my CJI. We refused to accept Judge Chandrachud as Chief Justice. So we trended not my CJI, Chief Justice of India, because he was very much wanted to pass the marital rape law by hearing these PILs in a high priority, right? So we were opposing, this kind of a politically inclined judge. Judge Chandrachud is very much politically inclined, and also he blindly follows what happens in a Western country without understanding that the Western countries are different. Their police is different, their judiciary is different, and you can't just copy something from California or Ohio law court and implement it. This is too elitist. He was completely elitist in his approach, in doing his things, but then there is a practical reality. So there is a time that is needed, right? Government can in fact pass the laws of any law they want to pass, they can pass. But here is the problem: the law has to be gender neutral. The marital rape law has to be gender neutral. We will give you know, enough cases where a woman can be an infomaniac. She can use the husband or partner as a sex slave or something, and we want completely a new CRPC section to be put with lot of checks and balances. Unfortunately, last 15 years, government has failed to put any checks or balances in the rape laws, in the sexual harassment laws, or Me Too, or even matrimonial disputes. There's no checks and balances. Like alimony law, where is the checks and balances? Absolutely not. It's minimal. So now that you have got such a pathetic record in bringing any kinds of checks and balances, then how dare you pass a new law, right? So if women are getting some rights not being given, that's okay, because even feminists have not tried for those checks and balances. The other thing is, in USA, the domestic violence law, which is called Violence Against Women Act, it gets reauthorized every 5 years. So every 5 years, they change the scope of the law or they debate the law again. The law has to be again passed. It is not like you pass the law once and then everything is stopped. No, every 5 years, the Violence Against Women Act is reauthorized, okay, with something being removed, something being added. And if the Domestic Violence Act of USA, VAWA, doesn't get reauthorized, if there is a delay, all the funding stops. The funding for the law stops. That means the domestic violence shelters cannot run, and many other infrastructures and helplines cannot run. This is how their law is. Now you are blindly copying the American law here, but you are not bringing. Why they have this law which has to be reauthorized every 5 years? Why? Because it's a special law. All the special laws and special acts have to have a limited time period. After that, you have to again reauthorize or pass it again. There has to be a lapsing time. You cannot be like, like reservations and all, right? Even in those cases, ideally they should have said like there is a time limit, 5 years, we will again revisit. Then all this mess and political correctness and victimhood, this mess will not happen. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say, that it's about history of what all we have done. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Anil sir, for enlightening us on the history, whatever we achieved, being an activist and by encouraging others. And I would like to say, as Sam sir has speak about the case and the recent case which was happening, and we have seen in society why that was an issue right now, because of the trend which is driven by the force of feminist and the force of a woman. So it's not a crime which was happening, it's a crime which where woman is a criminal of a woman itself, where they only suppressing, even there are the laws for their safety, but they are misusing it, the things which are happening there. So the people which who are viewing us and who are into this and wants to think about a activist mindset, they have to come forward and expose these things, that what wrong is happening in a society. The As you guys have seen in a court, a woman is asking for a 500 crore alimony or a monthly a 1 crore maintenance, right? So those things you have watched, and why it's coming into a picture and why it's always remain hidden earlier, because no one was speaking about it. But being activists, that is our right to say, tell the truth to the society that this is really happening. That's where you have to come into a picture. That's what the activists actually do, where we see the larger picture, and we are not harming anyone, but we are exposing them. And that's what being an activist you guys have to do, by exposing these things, so that society will get aware. Then only you can see the change. Otherwise, if you remain silent and just not speaking about it, no, why I will do that, I will get a justice or a judgment will come up. Judgment will not come overnight. The things happened at a background, when these kind of even for a in a Pune, protest was done by our Pune activist, when this case was going on in a West Bengal, where they were talking about what are the topics where why the people are not talking about the false rape cases, why people are not talking about the false harassment cases. Where is the dignity of a man when it comes to a man, when it comes to a rape of a man, where it comes on a dignity when his reputation was taken on a false rape case? If a new law is being made on those perspective of the current scenario or whatever was happened, why the previous law was not into a picture, why it was not taken care, because it was not designed in a proper manner. The police, the system, why no one is blaming on that? Why everyone started saying that all men are potential rapists? Are you a rapist? The people who are watching us, are you the rapist? If you are silent on that, then yes, obviously you are not at this place, but you are somewhere. But if you come forward, speak about it, that's what you are being a man. Because if and when someone says that you are having a woman, you are having a sister or a mother at your house, how you can say that? Then how they can say that to my father? How they can say that being a man to me? Are they are saying that their father and their son or their brothers are the rapists? You should ask this question if someone is asking you the in a same manner. What about the suicides of those boys in Rohtak case? It was happened. What about the suicide of Manav? No one was talking about it. But male suicides is increasing because we are silent, and we should not be. We should come up forward. And I would like Samsar to tell us that how an activist comes. And you once told me like it's from the inside. The activism light will come from the inside. And please.
Speak about it. Tell us.
Thank you, Virag. Thank you. Uh, Virag, I would start from where Anil sir concluded. He said we are trying to replicate most of the things uh, which are being practiced in other places. We are trying to copy them, the as is. So that reminds me of a saying that one size doesn't fit all, right? And if you try to do that, either uh, the fitting will be torn or it will look so bad that people will make fun of it. We need to understand that when we talk about activism, we are acknowledging that there is a problem, but there are approaches to address that problem. We need to clearly understand the difference between an activist versus a problem solver. You also called out that there is a problem in the society and women are creating more problem to women, and there are things which are not being addressed in the right manner. The reason the things are not being addressed in the right manner is because no one has focused on understanding and going to the root of that problem and then trying to address it in the right manner. What most of them end up doing is they look at the problem, they think that something has to be done, they just jump in. That is where the activism leadership comes into picture. While we talk about activism, and activism is something which motivates people to come out, stand, speak up, and do something. So, someone who just knows that there is a problem, he acknowledges and doesn't do anything is not an activist. He is something who is trying to contribute, who's trying to do. And in that, trying to do something, most of the time, people end up creating chaos. So, it is very, very important that when you develop an activist mindset, you also understand who is your leader to propagate, to show right direction in that activist, in that moment, right? I generally, what happens is when somebody gets into activism mode, they are very eager, they want to do something. That is the time when somebody has to show what exactly is needed in the society. And society always responds to two things: one, a larger set of people doing normal things, and a smaller set of people doing things little bit different. Remember, I am once again saying a smaller set of people doing things little bit different. I am not saying they do different things, but I am saying that they do things little bit different. Very, very clear example is marriage strike, Kumbhakarna Puja, and Elon Musk Puja. No one would have ever thought that a deity like Kumbhakarna will be put in place and he will be worshipped. No one would have thought Elon Musk would have been converted into a deity and he would have been prayed. No one would have ever thought that someone will come up with a totally different thinking, that if marriage is the problem for all the reasons, then let us have a strike on the marriage itself. Just imagine if somebody thinks about the concept of marriage strike, and if actually that happens in the society, how much chaos it will create. No one will marry, no one will have any bondage, no one need to be worried about taking any insurance to take care of somebody who has to live after somebody passes away. No need to construct any house, no need to take any home loan, no need to take any personal loan for marriage expenses, no need to create any other bucket, any other savings in the account, EFD, RD, savings account for somebody else whom you consider that will be your partner, is going to stay and should stay a peaceful, happy life. Think of that concept of marriage strike. If that gets actually implemented, how much
Sir,
economic.
you forgot mutual funds.
uh, yeah, we will come to that, but that itself is the marriage, right? That is what you said, right? So these things doesn't happen always. Marriage strike doesn't happen every week. Kumbhakarna Puja just doesn't happen every month, every week. Someone really thinks about these different approaches, They bring a really different thinking to make people aware of certain problem in the society. However, if you don't have a normal approach, if you don't have people standing with placards, if you don't have people standing with banners on the road, if you don't have regular movements where you go ahead with leaflet pamphlets, distribute to people, make them aware about the problems of men in the society, fathers in the society, children's in the society, they will never understand. So you need to have a normal path being done by a larger set of people who are the one who gets into activism at that point of time. And you have this different set of people who come up with a totally different idea, totally different uh, approach to address the same problem. That is where we will be able to pass message in the society. That is when we will be able to put things with an impact. And all this should happen in synchronization. If it happens at a different time, if somebody is doing Elon Musk puja and there is no one standing with a placard and only one person is doing, the whole society will laugh at him as a fool. No one will get that message. So things should happen in connection, they should happen with right coordination. And who can bring that right coordination? Only a person with a leadership mindset can bring that. That is why it is very, very important that we understand when one becomes an activist, he should start treating himself as a brave person. He is not yet a leader, he is brave. He has taken one step ahead than any normal person. So I was reading a book, and there it was mentioned, whom do you term as a brave person? So someone who carries courage 1 second extra than an ordinary man is considered to be a brave person. So the first step when somebody takes towards activism and become an activist, he is termed brave. He has to undergo a rigorous path. He has to travel a very, very difficult path to elevate himself, to grow himself into an activist leader. That is where he will be able to see things from a proper side, and he will be able to coordinate, connect, and run things with right consciousness. Remember, you become an activist, you don't have consciousness, it will not work. You are activist, you are doing things differently, but you don't have normal support, it will not work. And also remember, if you want to do something differently, which is totally off the track, it will not work. So it requires a lot of coordination, lot of thinking. And that is where leaders play a very, very vital role. That is where their support comes into picture. That is where people like Anil sir, people like Kati sir, people like Rajesh Vakharia ji, they all play a very, very vital role in orchestrating how this need to be. And that is where wonderful people like you also play a vital role in putting things in right perspective, providing the platform, coming forward, being brave, showing courage. Now this is what I'm calling on, saying that there is a need of a regular movement that keeps up the energy, that gives a lot of courage to people to keep on doing what is right, what they believe in the purpose. And that is where all of you play a very, very vital role in creating a very, very strong culture, a good discipline in the moment. And any activism which is lacking discipline, any activism which is lacking respect for each other, and any activism which is against humanitarian cause will never ever do any good to the society. So it is very important, before you become an activist, it is very, very important to understand the principle that you want to live your life for. It is very important to understand the purpose of your life, and it is very important to give meaning to person's death. People will not remember how you lived your life, they will remember how you died. And if you are contributing to the society, and if you are part of a very greater cause, a noble cause, then that person's death will be remembered. It is very important we carry these thoughts. It is very important we share our pain. It is very important we share our thinking. It is very important that we share our success as well. So success, pain, moments, natural things, all these become a guiding light to young people who join, a guiding uh, path to those who doesn't know what to do and who are eagerly waiting that let us do something, let us do something. So with this, I just want to conclude on the activism mindset concept. Okay, but uh, we have such wonderful people. I just want to take few moments to share few thoughts, few discussions that I have come across. Right, so especially with Suprakash ji. So I think rather than being an activist, I was listening to him earlier, but I know rather than an activist, he's a wonderful father first. So somewhere the pain that he carried for his child, that made him stand and fight for the cause. A person who is admitted in an hospital, who is lying almost on the deathbed, a person with glucose in his hand for 5 days, and a person who was facing breathing difficulty, going his saturation limit to almost 80, 78, 80, that person wakes up, sits, and says, I have a visitation. I need to remotely connect to my daughter. I need to talk. What more you need to be motivated? What more you need for that person to come out of the deathbed? That is the spirit to fight. I need to fight for the cause. So somewhere he is not fighting for himself. He is fighting for every such father who is deprived of the right to see or meet the child. Shashank, a wonderful father of two children,
Yeah.
devastated way long back. I don't know how many nights he would have cried in bed. Ultimately, what happened? The spirit of his activism, the eagerness that he had to bring right thing in his life, his stand for justice, his stand for truthfulness made his children come to him automatically. So these are two examples which I can quote saying if you are standing for the right purpose, if you have a right cause, and if you have the right mindset, and if you are really genuine, then nature will work for you to put things right, to make things run in the right manner. While I talk about these two people, how can I ignore Anilji? What is his purpose? Why he is here? Is he suffering any problem today? Absolutely not. Someone who is out of his problems way long back, dedicating more than 2 decades to a cause, working day and night, creating systems and processes that make things automatically work. What more you need in an activist leader like him? What more you need when he stand up and says, hey guys, don't worry, I am there to support you. You start doing things. Wonderful human being. You can't find a better leader than that. And how can I skip all of your names? Each time I have spoken with you, I have only closed my call learning from you. I have closed my sessions understanding what wonderful people you are, right? Samir is more sweeter than sugar. He has fought his cases so wonderfully that he now is more of a light to many people who come looking for the right mindset, right attitude, and right posture that they need to carry in their life. Nursing, Virag, Dr. Saab, how can I miss, right? So all these people wonderfully carrying out the activism thinking that creates difference in society. So you will all not be remembered for what you have done. You will be remembered for what change you brought in people's life. Even if a person can bring change and positivity in one person's life, he is more worthy and his life is more worthy. And I have no doubt to say that you guys have brought change in thousands and thousands of lives. And most of you have saved people from suicide. So I wish all the best. Thanks once again for providing this platform. Thanks once again for being such wonderful team in organizing things. And thank you a lot for providing me this opportunity to be in a frame with all of you. And I feel much humbled, much privileged to be there. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Ram sir,
Thank you, everybody.
for
Thank you, Shyam.
yeah. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, sir.
So it was a very good learning, which guys who all are our viewers interacting with us. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this, and please do share with your friends so that the awareness should reach there, and they will learn about the things what needs to be done and is coming and what needs to be changed. Okay, so
We
please
need
be
1
at
lakh
your house.
followers. We need
Yes, we
1
need a
lakh
1 lakh
followers
followers.
of this channel.
Yes. So, guys, please do that. Reach out everyone and see. The more you share, it's not only a part that you are doing something wrong, but the reach is happening, and another brother will not commit a suicide. So we have to think about it. We have to give it a thought that brother should not face any such of a situation. That's why we are here. We are encouraging everyone. We are helping everyone, whoever is there being a man and suffering in the society. So please make our channel to reach to most of the people so that, and there are our previous podcasts. I would like to say go and watch them. Surely you will learn one more new thing from it. There will be very much good things which you will learn from it. The things which you are suffering, or the thought which is coming up in your mind, surely go through them, go through this whole video again if you have any doubt about what is the activism and what are the things you should go through it again. So I would like to say again, please like, share, and comments. And thanks to all the panelists here for coming forward, talking about the things of their life journey from the initial phase, what was happened with them, the jobs, career, family, and the dealing with the things right now. Also, even if they are facing cases, they are there, and but still they not stopped helping anyone. Even if the cases are over, they are still helping. And that's what one leader will do, to help others, to encourage others. And that's where the misandry point should not come up. Being a man, you should come forward, help each other in one way or another. And that will surely help you out. If you want to reach to a place, you have to come forward on that path. So thank you, everyone.
थैंक यू गाइज, हम लोग जल्दी नए पॉडकास्ट के साथ फिर से मिलेंगे। सभी पैनलिस्ट को फिर से हम लोग इनविटेशन देंगे और हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे कि आप लोग के सामने कुछ नई चीजें लेकर आए। सो बाय बाय।
Bye.
तो गाइस
Thank you.
जुड़े रहिए इसके साथ, और नई पॉडकास्ट इससे
बिल्कुल
ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाली है। सो रिमेन देयर।
थैंक्स